Winning at everything you do isn't about luck or talent. It's about how you show up every single day. This book will walk you through clear steps that anyone can take to improve their life, build resilience, and develop habits that lead to real success. You'll learn how to take control of your time, sharpen your focus, and push yourself beyond comfort so growth becomes natural. It's about creating a mindset that keeps you steady when things get tough and teaches you to plan your wins so they keep coming. If you want practical advice that you can use right now and inspiration to keep going even when it's hard, this guide is for you. Stick with me and you'll discover how small daily choices add up to big changes and how winning can become your everyday reality. Chapter 1. Build discipline by doing what needs to be done. Discipline is not something you are born with, it's something you build. Not once, not twice, but every day. It doesn't start in some grand moment of inspiration. It starts with the smallest task you don't feel like doing. It starts the moment you feel resistance and do it anyway. Most people wait for motivation to appear. They wait to feel ready. But that moment rarely comes. What separates those who win in life from those who don't is simple. Winners do what needs to be done whether they feel like it or not. Discipline is the act of showing up for yourself. It's following through on what you said you would do, even when the emotion you had when you made that promise is long gone. Think about it. How many times have you made a plan only to walk away from it the moment it became uncomfortable? That's where most people stop. But if you want to win at everything you do, you have to learn to go further than that. You have to keep going when you're tired, when it's boring, when no one's watching, and when there's no reward waiting at the end. You keep going because your standard says you must. That's discipline. It begins with a mindset, the belief that your actions create your outcomes, not luck, not talent, not other people. Your effort, your consistency, your personal standards. Discipline is not punishment. It's a form of respect, respect for your goals, your word and your future. When you live with discipline, you live with purpose. You stop drifting. You stop wasting days. You stop giving in to temporary feelings that sabotage your long-term success. If you wake up and the first thing you do is hit snooze, you've already chosen comfort over growth. And it doesn't end there. You skip the workout, delay the task, eat the food you promised not to, scroll for hours on your phone. Then the day ends, and you wonder why nothing changed, why you feel stuck. It's with your actions are not aligned with the life you say you want. Discipline changes that. It replaces regret with pride. It replaces chaos with order. It replaces weakness with strength. But it only happens when you stop negotiating with yourself. Start small. Don't try to change everything in a day. Choose one thing that matters, something you've been avoiding, and do it. Not halfway, not rushed. Do it complete. Whether it's waking up at the time you said you would, finishing a task without checking your phone, or eating a clean meal instead of what's convenient. These are small acts, but they build something powerful inside you. Confidence, integrity, strength. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You will fail. You will miss some days. You will fall short. That's part of it. The key is to show up again, and again, and again. You train your mind by what you repeat. You either repeat comfort or growth, and you know which one leads to success. When you hold yourself to a standard and follow through, you earn self-respect. That matters more than any praise or recognition from the outside world, because deep down you know when you're lying to yourself. You know when you're making excuses. You feel it. It doesn't sit right. That voice inside you that whispers, "You're better than this," is telling the truth. And when you ignore it, you feel disconnected from yourself. But when you listen, when you act with discipline, something changes. You feel solid, grounded, clear. That's what winning feels like. The truth is, discipline isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming who you said you'd be. It's about making your actions match your vision. That means doing the hard things, not because they're fun, but because they're necessary. You don't grow by doing what's easy, you grow by doing what's required. If you want to build discipline, you have to get honest about what's holding you back. Maybe you procrastinate because you fear failure. Maybe you quit halfway because you don't believe in yourself. Maybe you numb yourself with distractions because facing your truth is uncomfortable. Whatever it is, face it. Call it by its name. Stop hiding from it. That's the first step. Then take action. Not someday. Not next week. Today. Start with the task that feels hardest, the one you keep pushing aside. Sit down and do it, even if it's messy, even if it's slow. Do it because you need to prove to yourself that you can. Winning in life doesn't require genius. It requires grit. Grit is built through repetition, through early mornings, late nights, focused effort, and a refusal to quit. You earn discipline the same way you earn strength in the gym, by pushing past your limits. Every time you do something difficult instead of easy, you build mental muscle, and the more you train it, the stronger it gets. Understand this, you don't need more motivation, you need more follow-through. Stop chasing quick fixes, stop waiting for the perfect mood. Stop looking for hacks. Winning isn't complicated, it's about choosing the right action and doing it over and over. Whether it's fun or not, whether people notice or not, whether it's raining or sunny, or quiet or loud, you do what needs to be done because you owe it to yourself. Every winner you admire has mastered this truth. Not one of them succeeded by doing what felt good in the moment. They built habits. They followed routine. They created systems. They stayed consistent when no one clapped for them. That's what got them ahead. And it can do the same for you. If you're willing to commit. Not for a week, for a lifetime. Discipline brings peace. Not the kind you get from avoiding problems, the kind you earn by facing them. When your life has structure, you stop feeling lost. When your time has purpose, you stop wasting it. When your actions reflect your goals, you feel in control. That's the reward of discipline. But you only get it if you're willing to fight for it. Fight through laziness. Fight through fear. Fight through doubt. Not with rage, but with calm, steady action. You won't always feel strong. You won't always feel ready. But you can always act. You can always choose the next right move. And that choice builds a pattern. A pattern becomes a habit. A habit becomes a lifestyle. A lifestyle becomes a legacy. This is how discipline transforms everything. It's not magic. It's effort. It's not overnight. It's daily. You wake up and decide, today, I will not take the easy path. Today, I will keep my promise. Today, I will move forward. No matter how I feel. The best version of you is already inside you. It's not out there waiting to be discovered. It's created through discipline. Every time you say no to weakness, every time you say yes to strength, every time you do what needs to be done instead of what's comfortable, that's how you win. And winning doesn't mean trophies. It doesn't mean applause. It means going to bed at night, knowing you lived with integrity, that you didn't take shortcuts, that you gave your best, that you honored your word. That's the kind of win no one can take from you. So decide what you want your life to look like. Get clear on it. Then ask yourself what it's going to take. Not what's easy, not what's popular, what's required. Then do that, again and again. The moment you choose discipline, you choose growth. You choose clarity. You choose power. It's not always fun. It's not always flashy. But it always works. Start with yourself. Because no one else can do this for you. No one else can build your habits. No one else can control your time. No one else can make you show up. This is your life. Your responsibility. Your power. Build it strong. Build it with discipline. That's how you win. At everything you do. Chapter 2. Take full responsibility for everything in your life. The moment you take full responsibility for everything in your life is the moment your life begins to change. Not partly, not eventually, immediately. Because until you take ownership, you stay stuck. You stay waiting. You stay blaming. And as long as you're blaming, you're not growing. It might be easier to say it's someone else's fault. Your upbringing, your environment, the people who hurt you, the opportunities you never got. And maybe those things were real. Maybe they did hurt, but here's the truth you need to face now. None of that controls what happens next. Only you do. People spend years looking for who to blame for the way their life turned out. But blame does nothing except steal your energy. Blame traps you in the past. It tells you, this isn't your fault, so you feel better for a moment. But then what? You stay exactly where you are. Nothing gets better. Nothing moves forward. But when you stop blaming and start owning every part of your life, your choices, your reactions, your habits, your thoughts, that's when things begin to shift. That's when you stop being a victim of life and start becoming the builder of your future. This isn't about guilt, it's about power. You're not taking responsibility so you can beat yourself up. You're doing it because it's the only way to take back control. If your life is in your hands, then you can change it. You can shape it. You can build it into something better. But if you keep waiting for someone else to fix it, you'll be waiting forever. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to make you believe in yourself. That's your job. Always has been. Responsibility means looking at your life, your health, your relationships, your income, your habits, your results, and saying, this is mine. Even if someone else caused the damage, it's still your responsibility to heal. Even if someone else made a mistake, it's still your responsibility to respond wisely. Because this is your life, and there's no freedom without responsibility. You can't improve something you keep disowning. If you keep saying it's out of your hands, you'll never try to change it. If you say it's not your fault, then you never have to be honest with yourself. That's the trap. That's how people live stuck for years, because it feels easier to stay the same and say it's not me, than to admit you have work to do. But real growth starts when you stop running from the truth that your choices shape your life, the truth that you are the common denominator in every situation you walk into. And that's not a weakness, that's your advantage. When something goes wrong, most people's first reaction is to look outward. They think, who made this happen? But a responsible person looks inward first, not to assign blame, but to understand what they can do better. That shift changes everything. It moves you from being reactive to proactive, from being helpless to powerful, and that power compounds. Every time you take ownership of a situation, you gain more clarity. You stop wasting time complaining. You start finding solutions. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You start doing what you can with what you have. The truth is, no one owes you anything. Not the world, not your family, not your employer, not your past. No one is responsible for your progress but you. And the moment you embrace that truth is the moment you become unstoppable. Because if no one owes you anything, then nothing can hold you back. No excuses, no delays, no stories about how things should have gone. Only action, only growth, only your next step. You might not be responsible for what happened to you, but you are responsible for what you do about it now. That is where your power lives. In your response, in your attitude, in your willingness to rise above. Because people will disappoint you, life will test you, things will fall apart, but those are not reasons to quit. They're reasons to become stronger. They're invitations to level up. But you can only accept those invitations if you believe your response matters. That's what responsibility is. It's choosing to respond with strength, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And yes, it's hard. It's hard to admit when you've messed up. It's hard to own your part in a broken relationship. It's hard to face the habits that are keeping you small. It's hard to stop blaming and start reflecting. But avoiding that truth doesn't make things easier. It just makes them heavier. The more you avoid responsibility, the more chaos you invite into your life. But when you own your choices, even the bad ones, you create peace. Because you're not pretending anymore. You're not hiding. You're facing your life with your eyes open. And that's how change begins. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you never feel pain. It means you don't let pain define your future. It doesn't mean you never get discouraged. It means you don't let discouragement stop you. It means you get back up. You ask better questions. You learn from your mistakes. You stop waiting for things to go your way, and you start making things go your way. Not by force, by discipline, by consistency, by showing up with integrity and owning everything you touch. Think about the people you admire, the ones who've built something real, who live with strength and clarity and purpose. They're not perfect. They've made mistakes. But what separates them is their mindset. They don't run from problems. They don't shift the blame. They take full responsibility for their choices, their growth, and their life. And that's why they keep rising. That's why they keep winning. Because every failure teaches them. Every obstacle sharpens them. Every setback becomes fuel. That only happens when you take responsibility. This is not a mindset for later. This is a mindset for now. From this moment forward, stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I do about this?" That one change will shift your whole direction. Life becomes less about what happens and more about what you choose. More about how you show up. More about the standard you hold yourself to. That's where real confidence comes from. Not from perfection. From knowing you're responsible and acting like it. No matter where you are in life, you can begin again. You can rebuild. You can rise. But you have to own your path. You have to stop waiting. Stop blaming. Stop doubting. You have to say to yourself, "This is my life, and I'm ready to take control of it." That decision alone will separate you from most people. Because most people stay stuck in stories. But you can write a new one. You can step into a new chapter with strength, with awareness, with commitment. So today, look at your life without excuses. Look at your habits, your mindset, your results. Ask yourself, where have I been avoiding responsibility? Then take one step to change it. Start small, but start now, because the longer you delay ownership, the longer you delay growth. And you don't need more time. You need more honesty, more courage, more action. You need to stop hiding from the truth and start building from it. Everything you want begins with one choice, the choice to take full responsibility for everything in your life. Not because it's easy, because it's right, because it's the only way to grow, because you deserve a life that reflects your highest potential, and no one else can build that life for you. It's on you. Own that, live that, and you will win. Every time. Chapter 3. Train your focus by removing daily distractions completely. Focus is not a talent you are born with. It is a skill you develop by making hard decisions every single day. You can't expect to make progress in anything if your mind is scattered. You can't create real results if your attention is constantly pulled in every direction. And in today's world, that's exactly what's happening. Your attention is under attack. Every time you reach for your phone without thinking, every time you switch tabs to check something that can wait, every time you interrupt a task to respond to a notification, you are trading your future for a short hit of comfort. That is how dreams are delayed. Not because people aren't capable, but because they can't focus. When you train your focus, you take your power back. You stop letting your day be controlled by distractions. You stop reacting to every beep and buzz. You stop allowing other people's urgency to replace your priorities. And that doesn't happen automatically. It happens when you decide that your time matters. It happens when you make your work environment quiet, clean, and simple. It happens when you stop multitasking and start doing one thing with your full attention until it's done. Most people don't realize how much time they waste every day just switching between tasks. They check their phone while writing an email. They reply to messages while trying to read. They interrupt their focus 5, 10, 20 times an hour, and then they wonder why nothing gets finished, why they feel overwhelmed, why the day ends and they still feel behind. It's because their attention is scattered. Their brain is constantly resetting, jumping from thought to thought, and that mental noise is exhausting. Focus is the opposite. Focus is peace. When you remove daily distractions, you create space for depth. You give your mind the ability to go deeper into your work, your goals, your vision. That's when real progress is made. That's when you stop feeling busy and start becoming productive. There's a difference. Being busy means you're always doing something. Being productive means you're doing the right thing without interruption. You don't need to do more, you need to focus better. Start by removing the obvious. Turn off non-essential notifications. You don't need to be alerted every time someone likes a post, sends a message, or updates a feed. You don't need to check your phone first thing in the morning. That habit alone steals your energy before your day even starts. Instead, begin with clarity. Ask yourself, what matters today? Write it down, make it visible, and then protect that focus with everything you have. You can't train focus in a chaotic environment. If your desk is messy, your inbox is overloaded, and your phone is buzzing every few minutes, your brain stays in survival mode. You never get into deep work. You never experience that state where time disappears and your mind is fully engaged. That level of focus requires structure. It requires silence. It requires you to remove what doesn't matter so that what does can finally get your full strength. Distraction is a habit, and so is focus. Every time you choose to stay with one task instead of jumping to another, you strengthen that habit. Every time you resist the urge to check your phone, you train your attention. It's not always easy. Sometimes it feels boring. Sometimes your brain wants to escape. But that discomfort is the training. That's the moment you grow. That's how you sharpen your mind and build the ability to stay with something until it's complete. Focus is freedom. When you can direct your mind where you want it to go and keep it there, you control your day. You finish what you start. You stop rushing. You stop forgetting. You stop feeling scattered. Instead, you create rhythm. You create momentum. You finish work in less time. You get more done with less stress. That's the power of a focused mind. But to stay focused, you need rules. Not for other people, for yourself. You need to decide when you check messages. You need to decide what apps don't belong on your phone. You need to decide how long you'll work without interruptions. These rules protect your time, and your time is your life. If you don't defend it, you lose it. Not all at once, but minute by minute, hour by hour, until weeks go by, and you wonder why you're not where you want to be. It always comes back to attention. You can't afford to lose your focus every few minutes. Not if you want to win, not if you want to be exceptional. The people who are building something meaningful in their lives are not living in distraction. They are locked in. They are intentional. They know what matters, and they protect it. That's not about being perfect. It's about being disciplined. It's about choosing clarity over chaos. And you can do that today, not next week. Now, choose a time block every day when you will focus on your most important task. No phone, no messages, no distractions, just you and the work. It doesn't have to be long. Even 1 hour of pure focus is worth more than a full day of half attention. Train your brain to stay in that space. The first few days will be hard. Your mind will wander. You'll reach for distractions out of habit. Catch yourself. Bring your focus back. That's the training. It's not about never getting distracted. It's about how fast you return. If you want to create anything of value, you need focus. You need long stretches of uninterrupted attention. That's where deep thinking happens. That's where solutions appear. That's where you get ahead. In a world that's loud and fast and full of noise, focus becomes your secret weapon. It's how you separate yourself. It's how you become excellent at your craft. It's how you rise while others waste time. And here's something else. A distracted life isn't just unproductive, it's unfulfilling. When your mind is always jumping from one thing to the next, you never feel present. You don't feel connected. Even when you're with people, even when you're relaxing, your brain is elsewhere. That's not living. That's escaping. And you don't need more escape. You need more depth. You need more stillness. You need moments where you're fully here, doing what matters, with full attention. That's what brings meaning. So look around your life and ask yourself, what's stealing my focus? Is it your phone? Is it the habit of checking things constantly? Is it too many commitments? Too many open tabs? Too many voices pulling at your energy? Start removing, start simplifying, start making space for concentration. Because when you focus, you move forward, and when you move forward with consistency, you change your life. You don't need perfect conditions to begin. You don't need silence or a new environment. You just need a decision. A decision to value your attention. A decision to respect your time. A decision to remove the unnecessary, so you can give your best to what matters most. That's where transformation happens, not in the noise, but in the focus. You train it by living it. Every single day. Chapter 4. Wake up early and control how your day begins. The first hour of your day decides how the rest of it will go. If you wake up rushed, reactive, and already behind, that energy follows you. It shows up in how you think, how you speak, and how you handle problems. But if you wake up early, with intention and structure, you take control. You don't wait for the day to happen, you shape it. You begin on your terms, with clarity instead of chaos. And that single decision to get up before the world demands your attention can change the direction of your entire life. Most people hit snooze because they're tired, not just physically, but mentally. They dread the day before it even begins, because their mornings are not their own. They wake up late, rush through everything, and let urgency run the show. But that's not how you win. Winning starts in the quiet moments. Before the emails, before the calls, before the noise. That early space is your edge. You get to decide who you are in it. You get to move your body, read something valuable, plan your time, and think without distraction. No one is pulling at you yet. No one is asking for anything. That time is yours, and what you do with it determines what you get from the rest of the day. Waking up early isn't about perfection or some unrealistic routine. It's about ownership. It's about saying, I care enough about my life to start it right. Because when you own your mornings, you stop reacting to everything else. You set your priorities. You feed your mind before the world can distract it. You move your body before stress has a chance to settle in. You align yourself with your goals before stepping into your responsibilities. That kind of preparation isn't optional. If you want to grow, it's necessary. If you keep saying you don't have time, wake up earlier. If you keep saying your days feel out of control, take back your mornings. If you want to feel stronger, more focused and more grounded, stop giving your first energy to things that don't deserve it. Your phone can wait. The world can wait. Your peace cannot. Give yourself the quiet to breathe, to reflect, to decide what kind of person you're going to be today, and then follow through on it. The truth is, the hardest part is getting out of bed. That's where most people lose, not because they can't wake up early, but because they haven't built the reason deep enough to care. You need a reason stronger than your excuses. You need a vision that makes your comfort less important. That vision begins with asking yourself, what would my life look like if I started every day with clarity and control? Imagine that. Not just once, but every day. Waking up with a plan. Waking up with calm. Waking up not needing to escape, because you're already aligned with your purpose. You don't have to change your life overnight. Start with one morning. Set your alarm an hour earlier than usual. Don't scroll. Don't rush. Just sit. Breathe. Think. Journal. Stretch. Plan. Hydrate. Read something that challenges your mind. Do one thing that builds momentum. Even something small. That hour will stretch. You'll get more done. You'll feel ahead. You'll start seeing what's possible when your mind is clear and your time is your own. That feeling becomes addictive. It becomes your standard. People who win don't stumble into their days. They enter them with structure, with quiet confidence, with rituals that prepare them mentally, physically, and emotionally. You can build those too. They don't have to be complicated. The most powerful ones are often the simplest. A short workout, a written plan, a healthy breakfast. 10 minutes of reflection. Consistency is what matters, not intensity. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're trying to build a strong foundation you can stand on. There's something powerful about knowing you've already taken care of yourself before most people have opened their eyes. That energy carries into your work, into your conversations, into the way you handle pressure. You feel less reactive because you've already been intentional. You feel less overwhelmed because you've already decided what matters most. That's the difference between surviving the day and leading it. And yes, some mornings will feel hard. You'll be tired. You'll want to hit snooze. You'll feel the pull of old habits. But in those moments, remind yourself, comfort is temporary. Growth is permanent. Every time you get up when it's hard, you prove something to yourself. You build trust. You build grit. You build a different kind of strength, the kind that doesn't need outside motivation to act. That's what early mornings teach you. That you don't need to feel ready. You just need to move. Changing your life doesn't always come from massive decisions. Sometimes it's as simple as getting out of bed when you said you would. Sometimes it's setting the tone instead of letting the world set it for you. When you master your mornings, you begin to master your days. And when you master your days, you shape your weeks, your months, your future. It all begins with a decision to rise earlier than your doubts, to claim your time before distractions take it, to lead your life from the very first moment you open your eyes. Don't aim for perfect mornings, aim for consistent ones. If you wake up and don't feel inspired, show up anyway. If you wake up and your plan changes, adapt without losing your focus. Keep showing up, even when it's inconvenient. Especially when it's inconvenient, because that's how real discipline is built, in the hours where no one is watching, in the decisions no one applauds, in the routines that feel boring but build your foundation day by day. You don't need to be a morning person, you need to be a person who chooses growth over comfort. That choice doesn't happen once. It happens every morning when the alarm goes off. That moment is your test. It's also your opportunity to step into your day with purpose, to stop reacting and start leading, to stop surviving and start building. If you want to live on your terms, stop waking up on everyone else's. Your mornings set the tone for your character. Not what you say about your goals, but what you do when no one is looking. How you start your day is how you face your challenges, with discipline, with clarity, with consistency. Win your mornings, and the rest of the day follows. Not by luck, by design. And that design starts now. Not someday, not when you feel ready. Now. So tomorrow, when the alarm rings, remember who you're becoming. Remember why you're getting up. And do it without delay. That's how you take control. That's how you win. Chapter 5. Push yourself daily to do something uncomfortable now. Growth doesn't happen when life is easy. It happens when you face discomfort and move through it without hesitation. The problem is most people avoid that feeling. They avoid difficult conversations, tough decisions, new challenges, and anything that might stretch them. But if you keep choosing what's easy, your life will stay small. You'll stay in the same habits, the same routines, the same thinking patterns that hold you back. If you want real change, you have to do something uncomfortable every single day. Not just once when you're feeling brave, but daily on purpose, when it's inconvenient, when it's awkward, when it pushes you right up against your limits. That's how strength is built. Every day you face two choices. Stay where you are or push a little further. The people who win are not more talented. They just stop protecting their comfort. They lean into the difficult thing first. They say yes to growth before it feels safe. And that decision, small as it seems, is what changes everything over time. You don't become confident by waiting for fear to disappear. You become confident by walking through fear and proving you can handle it. That's what discomfort teaches you, that you're capable of far more than you think. But you only learn that by stepping into the unknown, instead of avoiding it. Think about the last time you did something that scared you. Maybe it was speaking up when it was easier to stay quiet. Maybe it was trying something new with no guarantee of success. Maybe it was facing a part of yourself you didn't want to deal with. Now think about how you felt after. Stronger, clearer, lighter. That's not a coincidence. That's what happens when you stop running from difficulty. That's what happens when you choose challenge over ease. That strength doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from engaging with it. Start where you are. You don't need to do something extreme. You just need to do something that makes you hesitate. Something you normally avoid. It could be a task you've been delaying, a message you've been scared to send, a conversation you know you need to have, or a truth you've been hiding from. The moment you choose to do that thing, even if your hands shake, you begin to reclaim your power. That choice builds momentum, and when you make it daily, it becomes who you are. It's not about becoming fearless, it's about becoming stronger than your fear. You can feel uncomfortable and still move forward. You can feel anxious and still take action. You can feel unsure and still show up. Discomfort is not a stop sign. It's a signal that you're leaving your comfort zone and stepping into a space where growth lives. Most people never get there because they want it to feel easy. They wait for motivation. They wait until they feel brave. But growth doesn't wait. It moves with or without your permission. You either chase it or you fall behind. Comfort will always whisper reasons to stay where you are. It'll say, do it tomorrow. It's not the right time. You're not ready yet. That voice is familiar, but it's not your friend. It's not protecting you. It's limiting you. Every time you listen, you reinforce the belief that you can't handle more. But when you ignore that voice and act anyway, you weaken it. You take away its control. You replace it with a different message. One that says, I can handle this. I'm not afraid of effort. I'm not avoiding growth. Push yourself even when no one is watching. Especially when no one is watching. That's where character is built. When you choose the harder option simply because you know it's right. When you stay with the workout for the last set even when your body wants to quit. When you speak your truth even if it shakes. When you ask for help even if pride tells you not to. These moments seem small, but they stack. They change your mental wiring. They turn effort into a habit. They make courage your default response. The only way to grow is to move toward what you've been avoiding. Whatever it is that makes you uncomfortable, that's the exact thing you need to face. It's not there to break you, it's there to build you. Discomfort is a doorway. You can walk through it or you can stay staring at it, wondering what's on the other side, and the longer you wait, the more fear grows. But the second you act, the fear loses power. Every time you push through, you make the next time easier. And over time, what once scared you becomes normal. That's how expansion works. You can train your mind the same way you train your body. If you want to become mentally strong, you have to challenge yourself daily. That means doing hard things, not because they're glamorous, but because they build the version of you you've been trying to become. Growth is not random, it's deliberate. It's choosing the path that tests you, frustrates you, and forces you to adapt. That process rewires your nervous system. It changes your identity from someone who avoids to someone who attacks challenges head-on. Stop chasing ease. Start chasing growth. When something feels uncomfortable, let that be your signal to lean in, not step back. Let that tight feeling in your chest remind you that this is exactly where you need to be. This is the moment your old self wants to turn around. Don't. Stand your ground. Move forward, even if it's slow, even if it's uncertain. The direction is what matters. Every step through discomfort is a step towards strength, courage, clarity, and resilience. Discomfort won't break you. Avoiding it will. If you keep living small, you'll start to feel it. In your confidence, in your decision, in the way you shrink yourself around others. But the moment you do one thing that makes you uncomfortable, even just once a day, you start building something unshakable inside you. And over time, you stop seeing discomfort as a threat. You start seeing it as the place where you come alive. There will always be resistance. That doesn't mean something is wrong. It means something important is about to happen. So instead of asking, how can I make this easier? Start asking, what can I do that scares me just enough to grow? That's the question that will lead you. That's the question that will wake you up and push you forward when everything in you wants to stay still. You don't have to like discomfort, you just have to use it. Use it to level up. Use it to build strength. Use it to break old patterns. Use it to remind yourself that fear has no final say. You do. Every day you have a choice to repeat the same safe patterns or stretch into something greater. Choose to stretch. Choose to show up even when it's hard. Choose to push past the edge again and again until what was once uncomfortable becomes your new normal. That's how you win, not in one big moment of courage, but in the daily decision to face what's difficult now instead of putting it off for later. Later doesn't come. Now is all you have. Use it to grow. Use it to rise. Use it to build the kind of life that can only come from the other side of discomfort. Chapter 6. Finish what you start, no matter how hard. Finishing what you start is not about being gifted. It's about being consistent when things stop being exciting. Anyone can start with motivation. Anyone can show up when things are new and full of energy. But very few keep going when it becomes repetitive, when it takes longer than expected, when it feels like no one notices. That's where most people give up, not because they aren't capable, but because they didn't train themselves to finish. If you want to build a life you're proud of, you have to stop quitting halfway. You have to stop breaking promises to yourself. The real win is not in starting. It's in sticking with it until the last step is done. When you don't finish what you start, you weaken your belief in yourself. You create a pattern where doubt grows stronger than discipline. Each unfinished project, each abandoned commitment, each goal that you said mattered but left incomplete, those moments stack, and they change how you see yourself. You stop trusting your word. You stop believing you'll follow through. You begin to expect failure instead of progress. But the moment you decide to complete things, even when they're tough, even when you're tired, you start rebuilding that trust. You start seeing yourself as someone who finishes, no matter what. Finishing is a decision. You don't wait for the perfect mood. You don't need more time. You don't need approval. You just need to stop giving yourself the option to quit. When you remove that exit, you force yourself to find a way forward. You figure it out. You push through resistance. You adapt. That's where real growth lives. In the middle, where you don't feel like it, but you show up anyway. No one talks about how hard it is to stay committed once the excitement fades. But that's the truth. The energy that pushes you at the start doesn't last. After a few days or weeks, reality kicks in. The process becomes slow. Results take time. And you realize this goal won't just hand itself over. You'll have to fight for it. That's the test. That's where most people stop. But if you want to win, you have to finish. Even when you're no longer in love with the process. Even when it gets boring. Even when you feel like you're not making progress. The discipline to finish anyway is what creates results. Every time you complete something you started, you gain more than an outcome. You gain character. You gain control over your time, your habits, your mindset. You learn that effort beats emotion. That dedication is louder than excuses. That the future belongs to people who don't stop just because things are uncomfortable. There's no pride in quitting. There's no fulfillment in walking away before the breakthrough. The pride comes when you cross that line, knowing you earned it, because you refused to give up. You're not doing this to impress anyone. You're not doing it to prove something to the world. You're doing it because you want to become the kind of person who finishes what they start. That means staying locked in on your goals when distractions show up. That means staying consistent, even when results don't show up right away. That means deciding in advance that quitting is not an option. Finishing doesn't always feel good. It often feels exhausting. Sometimes it feels lonely. It usually feels inconvenient. But nothing you're proud of was built in comfort. You don't look back on the things you gave up on with pride. You remember the moments you finished, especially when it was hard. That's what defines you, not the easy wins, but the ones you had to earn with discipline, patience, and relentless follow-through. You're not going to be excited every step of the way. Some days you'll feel like you're dragging yourself forward. That's part of it. Progress isn't always obvious, but it's there, being built silently behind the scenes, one completed task at a time, one promise kept at a time, 1 hour of focused effort at a time. That's how you finish anything that matters. Not in one big leap, but in quiet, steady, consistent action. Sometimes you'll be tempted to chase something new, a fresh idea, a different plan, something that feels easier or more exciting. But understand this, starting over feels good temporarily. It gives you a new high. But if you keep abandoning things when they get hard, you'll never build anything lasting. New isn't better, finished is better. Follow through is what builds success. If you can develop the habit of finishing, you'll always be ahead, because most people never do. To finish what you start, you need to remove distractions, simplify your focus, and stay brutally honest with yourself. Don't wait until things feel right. Create structure, set small targets, break the goal down if you have to. But don't stop. You can adjust your pace, but you don't abandon the mission. If you're tired, rest. If you're unsure, slow down and reflect. But don't give in to the voice that tells you it's not worth it. It's always worth it. If you made a promise to yourself, the process of finishing rewires your identity. It replaces doubt with confidence. It replaces procrastination with discipline. And it creates momentum. Once you complete one thing, it becomes easier to complete the next. Your brain learns that your actions match your intentions, that you mean what you say, that you can rely on yourself. That feeling is rare. Most people never experience it fully because they're too busy quitting when things get tough. But you can choose differently. Don't let the difficulty of the process become an excuse. Let it become your reason. The harder it is, the more it will mean when it's done. The more resistance you face, the stronger you'll be when you overcome it. That's the reward, not just the result you get at the end, but the person you become on the way there. That's why you finish. Not because it's easy, but because it's who you are now. Start finishing the little things first. The task you keep avoiding. The message you've been meaning to send. The commitment you made last week. Build the muscle of completion in your daily life. It's not about how big the goal is. It's about following through on what you said you'd do. That habit becomes your foundation. And once it's strong, you'll be able to finish the bigger things. The goals that require months or years of discipline. You owe it to yourself to see things through, not just for the outcome, but for the integrity that comes from keeping your word. If you start something with intention, finish it with commitment, you'll face resistance. You'll hit walls you'll want to quit. But keep going anyway, not because it's easy, but because it matters. And you'll never know how far you can go until you refuse to stop before the end. That's how you win, not by starting everything, but by finishing the things that count, every single time. Chapter 7. Protect your time like it is your only asset. Time is not just valuable, it is the foundation of everything you will ever build, experience, or become. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose energy and restore it. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. Every minute you give away without intention is a piece of your life you will never see again. That's why protecting your time is not optional. It's essential. It is your only non-renewable asset, and the way you treat it determines the results you create and the life you lead. If you don't guard it with seriousness, the world will waste it for you. Other people's demands, distractions, and expectations will consume it before you even realize what's happening. And at the end of the day, you'll be left with regrets about what you didn't start, didn't finish, and didn't experience, because you gave your time to things that didn't matter. To protect your time, you first need to understand that no one else will do it for you. People will take as much as you allow. They won't mean harm. They'll just ask. They'll interrupt. They'll expect. And if you haven't decided what your time is worth, you'll give it away freely. You'll say yes too often. You'll attend things out of guilt. You'll answer every message as it comes. You'll spend hours doing things that make no difference to your progress, and all of it will feel normal. until one day you realize years have passed and your goals haven't moved an inch. You need boundaries, not because you're selfish, but because your time is limited. You can't do everything. You can't be everywhere. You can't say yes to every invitation, every request, every random idea. You have to choose. You have to decide that some things are worth your time and some things are not. That means learning to say no without apology. That means walking away from conversations, activities, and people who don't align with the direction you're trying to go. That means scheduling your time like it matters, because it does. The people who get things done are not more talented or lucky. They're just more intentional with how they spend their hours. They don't let distractions run their lives. They plan their days before the world does. They have routines. They have cut-off times. They protect their mornings. They schedule thinking time, learning time, work time, and rest time. They treat each hour like it's currency, because it is, and they know once it's spent, it's gone. There are no refunds on wasted time. If you want to succeed, you have to get serious about where your time goes. Start tracking it. Start measuring how many hours you spend scrolling, procrastinating, or reacting to things that don't matter. Be honest with yourself. It's not about being perfect. It's about getting clear. Once you see the truth, you can adjust. You can start putting your energy into things that matter. Your goals, your learning, your health, your relationships, your growth. Every minute you take back becomes a tool you can use to build the life you actually want. You don't need more hours in the day. You need to use the hours you have more wisely. That means removing the noise. That means simplifying. That means turning off notifications, closing unnecessary tabs, and creating quiet spaces to think and work without interruption. It means checking your phone on your terms, not every 5 minutes out of habit. It means cutting meetings that could have been handled with a message. It means doing less, but doing it better. Your time should reflect your priorities. If your schedule is filled with things you don't care about, that's a sign your boundaries are weak. If you say you value growth, but spend hours on distractions, your time is out of alignment. Real success comes when your time matches your values. When your calendar reflects what actually matters to you, not what's convenient, not what others expect, not what's urgent, but what truly moves your life forward. You also need to protect your time emotionally, not just from external distractions, but from your own patterns. Doubt wastes time. Overthinking wastes time. Perfectionism wastes time. Waiting for the perfect moment wastes time. You don't need to overplan. You need to take action. You need to do the next step and adjust as you go. The more you hesitate, the more hours slip away. And those are hours you'll never get back. Make time for what matters and remove what doesn't. Be ruthless. Audit your environment. Audit your habits. Audit the people you allow access to your attention. You don't owe your time to everyone. You don't need to explain your schedule to people who don't understand your goals. This is your life, and if you want to make something of it, you need to lead it. You need to protect it from noise, from drama, from meaningless obligations. Even rest must be intentional. Mindless breaks aren't real rest. Rest with purpose. Sleep with consistency. Step away from your work to recover, not to escape. Time spent recovering is not wasted. It's what allows you to show up strong the next day. But don't confuse that with hours spent numbing yourself. Protecting your time also means using your breaks wisely, so your energy stays sharp and focused. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is, "I'll do it later." That lie is the thief of time. It sounds harmless, but it stacks up, and every time you say it, you push your goals into a future that never arrives. If something matters, do it now. If you can take a step today, take it. Don't wait. Don't plan endlessly. Use your time while you have it. Later isn't guaranteed. Tomorrow doesn't owe you anything. Today is the only time that's real, and how you use it is up to you. Time is the great equalizer. Everyone has the same 24 hours. What separates people isn't how much time they have, it's how they protect and use it. Don't admire someone's success if you're not willing to respect your own time the way they respect theirs. Behind every achievement is someone who decided their time would be used for creation, for discipline, for learning, for building, not for excuses, scrolling, or wasting energy on things that don't matter. You're not too busy. You're just not yet aligned with what matters. Protecting your time will force you to let go of things that feel good temporarily, but cost you in the long run. That's a hard trade, but it's the only way to get your life back. You can't live fully if your time is being stolen. You can't grow if your attention is always scattered. You can't build something great if your hours are spent on things that mean nothing to your future. So make the decision, right now. Decide that your time matters more than comfort, more than approval, more than distraction. Start treating every hour like a decision. Start planning your day before the world does. Start saying no to things that don't move you forward, because once you lose this time, it's gone. But while you still have it, you have everything you need to create something extraordinary. Use it well. Protect it fiercely. Live like your time is your only asset, because it is. Chapter 8. Track your progress every day to stay accountable. Progress doesn't just happen. It's built through repetition, reflection, and personal responsibility. If you don't track what you're doing every day, you'll lose sight of where you are and where you're going. You'll think you're doing enough when you're really drifting. You'll assume you're making progress when you're just staying busy. Without measurement, your effort is blind. Without accountability, your motivation fades. You might start with energy, but you won't last unless you check in with yourself every single day. Tracking your progress is how you stay honest. It's how you stop lying to yourself about what you're really doing with your time, your focus, and your goals. Daily tracking is not about being perfect. It's about clarity. It shows you what's working and what isn't. It exposes the gaps in your effort. It forces you to face the truth instead of running from it. It turns vague intentions into concrete action. It gives you data instead of emotion. Most people don't do it because they're scared to see the numbers. They'd rather guess. They'd rather assume. But when you don't track, you don't grow. You stay in a cycle of trying harder instead of trying smarter. You repeat the same mistakes without noticing. You chase results without learning from the process. Accountability starts with awareness. If you can't see what you're doing, you can't improve it. If you don't measure your habits, your progress becomes random. You'll have good days and bad days, but you won't know why. You won't be able to repeat what works or fix what doesn't. But once you start tracking, everything changes. You start noticing patterns. You start catching your weak points before they grow. You start moving with precision instead of guessing in the dark. Make it simple. You don't need a complicated system. A notebook, a calendar, a checklist, a habit tracker, a daily log, anything that shows you what you committed to and whether or not you did it. Check it off, write it down, review it nightly. You'll start to feel a different kind of motivation. Not hype, not emotion, but responsibility. You'll begin to care more, because now you're not just thinking about growth, you're seeing it, you're proving it, you're showing up for it. When you track your progress, your excuses get weaker. You can't say you're doing the work when you see blank spaces where actions should be. You can't pretend you're all in when the numbers tell a different story. That honesty is uncomfortable at first, but it's powerful. It cuts through the noise. It keeps you grounded. It reminds you that you're not entitled to results you didn't earn, and that kind of clarity sharpens your focus. It humbles you. It challenges you to level up, not just in effort, but in consistency. It's easy to get distracted by how far you still have to go, but tracking reminds you how far you've come. When you see progress, even small progress, you gain energy. You start to believe in your ability to change. You stop chasing perfection and start respecting effort. That's where momentum builds, not in giant leaps, but in the steady line of daily wins. A workout done, a goal reviewed, a plan followed, one box checked, then another. That's how transformation happens. Tracking also protects you from self-doubt. On tough days, you can look back and see your proof, not in your feelings, but in your actions. You'll see the streak you've built, the effort you've given, the hours you've invested, and that proof reminds you you're not starting from scratch. You're building something real. You're not hoping, you're working. You're not guessing, you're learning. Don't rely on memory. Your mind forgets. Your mind distorts. You'll remember the good moments and forget the times you avoided the hard stuff. You'll feel like you're putting in more effort than you are. That's why you write it down. That's why you review it daily. You make progress visible. You take control of your habits by watching them in real time. That visibility keeps you aligned. It forces you to choose discipline over distraction. And when you slip, and you will, you'll see it clearly. You'll know where the gap is. You'll fix it faster. Some people say they don't need to track. They just go by how they feel. But feelings are unreliable. Some days you'll feel great and do nothing. Other days you'll feel low and still do the work. Only one of those builds results. Feelings are feedback, not facts. Progress isn't based on mood, it's based on action. And tracking is how you separate the two. You stop letting emotion dictate your habits, and you start making decisions based on truth. If you're serious about changing your life, start keeping score. Start being brutally honest about what you're doing each day. Are you working the hours you said you would? Are you staying focused during that time? Are you following your plan, or just reacting to the day? Are you doing the uncomfortable things, or just the easy ones? Are you moving toward your goals, or just staying busy? Write it all down. Then ask yourself if you're on track. If the answer is no, adjust. Don't complain. Don't delay. Adjust and move. Your progress is your responsibility. No one else can do it for you. No one else can hold you accountable the way you can hold yourself. And it starts with a pen and paper, or an app, or a chart, anything that forces you to look at your habits every day. No hiding, no hoping, just tracking and taking ownership. Because once you know what you're doing, you can change it. Once you see the pattern, you can improve it. That's where control begins. Track your goals. Track your routines. Track your mindset. Write down your thoughts at the end of each day. What worked? What didn't? Where did you stay disciplined? Where did you slip? What are you going to change tomorrow? These reflections don't take long, but they compound. They make you sharper. They make you more intentional. They keep you engaged with your growth. You're not just showing up. You're learning. You're refining. You're becoming someone who leads themselves. There's no shortcut. There's no perfect system. But there is a way to make steady, consistent progress. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's daily tracking. Quiet, clear, personal. The people who grow the most are the ones who check in with themselves the most. They don't rely on motivation. They track. They review. They improve. and they do it again tomorrow. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the fastest. You just have to be the most consistent. And the only way to stay consistent is to stay accountable. The only way to stay accountable is to measure. The only way to measure is to track. Start today. Don't wait for a new week or a new month. Start right now. Write down what you did. Write down what you will do next. Stay honest. Stay aware. And never stop checking in with yourself. That's how you grow. That's how you stay on course. That's how you win. Chapter 9. Speak with honesty even when it is difficult. Telling the truth when it's easy doesn't require much strength. Telling the truth when it's hard, that's what builds character. That's what separates those who live with integrity from those who live with regret. Honesty isn't just about facts, it's about courage. It's about standing in your own values when it would be safer to stay quiet. It's about saying what you really think when it might make others uncomfortable. It's about choosing clarity over approval, even when you know people might misunderstand you. And it's about doing it not to hurt others, but to respect yourself. When you speak honestly, especially when it's difficult, you stop betraying yourself. You stop hiding who you are. You stop living for what others want to hear, and start living in alignment with what you know is true. There's a heavy cost to silence when it's not real. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you chip away at your self-respect. Every time you avoid a conversation that needs to happen, you delay peace. Every time you pretend to agree just to avoid tension, you teach yourself that your voice doesn't matter. And over time, that creates a deep, quiet resentment, not just toward others, but toward yourself. You start to feel disconnected from your own life. You lose trust in your ability to say what needs to be said. But that changes the moment you decide to speak truthfully, not to be right, but to be real. Honesty doesn't mean being harsh. It means being direct. It means saying what you see, what you feel, and what you believe without dressing it up to please others. Some people will be uncomfortable. Some might take it personally. But the ones who truly respect you will appreciate the clarity. The people who value truth over comfort will grow from it. And the people who can't handle your honesty were never safe for your truth to begin with. That's not your burden. Your responsibility is to speak from a place of truth and self-respect, not to manage everyone else's feeling. It's easy to stay silent to keep the peace, but silence doesn't create peace. It creates distance. It creates tension below the surface. It creates confusion, because no one really knows where you stand. You might avoid conflict in the short term, but you create more pain in the long term. Real peace comes from honesty, from having the conversations that matter, from saying the thing you're scared to say, and realizing the world didn't end. That's how trust is built. That's how strong relationships are formed, not through pretending, but through truth. Speaking with honesty also sharpens your mind. When you get used to saying what you mean, you start thinking more clearly. You stop second-guessing. You stop filtering your thoughts to fit in. You start knowing what you believe and why. You become more confident, not because everyone agrees with you, but because you're no longer afraid of their disagreement. That freedom is powerful. You stop chasing approval and start standing on solid ground. You start living in a way that matches your inner values, not your external image. You can't grow without honest communication, whether it's in your relationships, your work, or your personal development. Truth is what creates progress. If you can't tell yourself the truth about your habits, your flaws, or your mistakes, you'll stay stuck. If you can't tell others the truth about what you need, what you expect, or what hurts you, resentment will grow. But when you choose to speak openly, you open the door to change. You invite clarity. You create room for mutual respect. You make space for solution. Don't let fear decide how you communicate. Yes, honesty feels risky. It feels vulnerable. It requires you to say things that might not be received well. But that risk is worth it, because the alternative is living a life that's not really yours. If your voice is always shaped by what others want to hear, you'll lose sight of who you really are. But when you practice saying what's true for you, your confidence rises, your relationships deepen, your life becomes clearer and more aligned. Practice honesty with yourself first. Be real about where you are. Be clear about what you want. Acknowledge what's not working. Admit when you've been avoiding the truth. The more honest you are with yourself, the easier it becomes to be honest with others. And that self-honesty is the foundation of all personal growth. You can't change what you won't face. You can't improve what you won't admit. You can't lead others until you can lead yourself with truth. Sometimes the hardest person to be honest with is yourself. It's easier to blame others. It's easier to look away, but nothing gets better that way. Growth begins the moment you tell yourself the full truth, even when it hurts, even when it challenges your ego, even when it forces you to take responsibility. That kind of honesty isn't weakness. It's power. It gives you the clarity to act. It frees you from excuses. It puts you back in charge of your life. And when it's time to speak the truth to others, do it with calm. Do it with kindness. Do it with strength. You don't have to shout. You don't have to explain every detail. You just have to be clear and grounded. Let your words reflect your values. Let them be firm but fair. Let them come from a place of care, not control. That's when honesty becomes a force for connection, not destruction. Not everyone will appreciate your truth. Some people will try to push back. Some might distance themselves. But that's not a reason to stay silent. That's a reason to stay strong. Because the people who respect honesty are the ones you want around. They're the ones who will grow with you, challenge you and support you, not because you always agree, but because you always tell the truth. That's real trust. That's real respect. You have to train yourself to speak honesty even when it's inconvenient, not just when it feels safe, but especially when it feels uncomfortable. That's how you build courage. That's how you stop shrinking to fit into places you've outgrown. That's how you step fully into your life, not half present, not half truthful, but all in. Speaking the truth is not always easy, but it's always necessary. And once you get used to it, you'll wonder why you ever held back. You're not here to live a life of avoidance. You're here to grow. You're here to lead. You're here to connect. And none of that is possible without honesty. Speak it. Live it. Stand in it. You owe that to yourself and to the people who count on you. The truth won't always make things easier, but it will always make them real. And real is where life gets better. Real is where freedom begins. Real is where you become unshakable. Keep choosing truth, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. That's how you become someone the world can trust. That's how you become someone you can trust. Chapter 10. Keep learning new skills that improve your daily value. Learning new skills is not just a choice. It is a necessity for growth and staying relevant in every area of life. The world changes fast, and those who stop growing risk falling behind. But learning isn't about accumulating random knowledge. It's about acquiring abilities that increase your daily value. Every new skill you master opens doors. It makes you better at your work, your relationships, and your own self-management. It sharpens your mind and builds your confidence. When you commit to continuous learning, you invest in yourself, That investment pays off in better decisions, greater opportunities, and stronger resilience against setbacks. Skills build your ability to solve problems, create value, and adapt to change. Without them, you become stuck relying on what you already know, which grows outdated with time. When you learn, you refresh your mindset, you develop new ways of thinking, you discover new methods for tackling challenges, you improve your communication and collaboration. These improvements don't just make your life easier, they make you indispensable in any environment. Your skill set becomes your competitive advantage. It's how you stand out in a crowded world. It's how you earn respect and open doors that were previously closed. Start by identifying the skills that matter most for your current goals and future ambitions. Focus on what will move the needle in your daily life and work. It could be technical skills like writing, coding, or marketing. It could be personal skills like emotional intelligence, time management, or public speaking. It could be physical skills like fitness or healthy cooking. Whatever it is, commit to mastering it step by step. Learning doesn't have to be overwhelming or complicated. It can be as simple as dedicating 15 minutes a day to practice or study. Small, consistent effort beats rare bursts of intensity every time. When you learn, don't just consume information passively, engage actively, practice regularly, apply what you learn immediately. The value of a skill comes from using it, not just knowing it exists. The moment you start applying a new technique or concept, you reinforce your learning and begin building confidence. You make the knowledge yours. You gain practical experience that deepens your understanding. That experience will pay off when you face real challenges, and you'll be ready because you've trained ahead of time. Learning new skills also keeps your brain healthy and flexible. It builds neural connections that improve memory, focus, and creativity. It helps you stay sharp and mentally agile. The process of learning trains you to overcome frustration, persist through failure, and celebrate progress. These mental habits spill over into every area of your life. They strengthen your resilience and your ability to handle uncertainty. When you commit to learning, you're not just gaining skills, you're building a mindset that embraces growth and possibility. Don't be afraid to start at the beginning. Everyone begins as a beginner. The most successful people have been beginners many times. What separates them is that they keep moving forward. They don't let the initial difficulty stop them. Instead, they embrace the discomfort as part of the process. They ask questions, they seek feedback, they adjust and keep going. That mindset is what allows them to improve every day, to level up their skills continuously, to become experts through consistent effort. Avoid the trap of thinking learning ends with formal education or certifications. Real learning happens every day in real situations. It happens when you solve problems, ask for help, teach others, or reflect on your experience. It happens when you read books, listen to podcasts, watch tutorials, or take courses, but only if you put that knowledge into action. The value of learning is in transformation. If you don't apply what you learn, it's just entertainment or background noise. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth. Join communities or groups focused on the skills you want to build. Being around others who are learning keeps you motivated and accountable. It exposes you to different perspectives and new ideas. It pushes you to raise your standards. Collaboration can accelerate your progress and help you avoid common mistakes. Learning doesn't have to be a lonely journey. It thrives in connection. Set clear learning goals to maintain focus. Instead of vague plans like, I want to get better, choose specific targets. I will learn to write effective emails this month, or I will practice public speaking once a week. Clear goals guide your effort and make your progress measurable. They give you a roadmap to follow and a way to celebrate milestones. When you achieve a goal, it builds momentum and confidence to tackle the next one. Keep a learning journal or log. Write down what you're working on, what you've learned, and what challenges you faced. Reflect on how new skills are impacting your daily life. This practice increases your awareness and helps you internalize your progress. It also creates a record of growth that you can look back on when you feel stuck or discouraged. Seeing how far you've come fuels motivation and commitment. Remember that setbacks are part of learning. You will make mistakes. You will struggle. You will fail. That's normal and necessary. What matters is how you respond. Use failures as feedback, not excuses. Analyze what didn't work. Adjust your approach. Keep practicing. Growth comes from persistence and willingness to improve, not from avoiding difficulty. Investing in your skill set is investing in your future. It prepares you for opportunities that don't exist yet. It gives you flexibility to navigate change. It increases your earning potential and your ability to create impact. But beyond practical benefits, learning new skills enriches your life. It opens your mind. It connects you to new communities. It gives you confidence to try new things. It keeps life interesting and meaningful. Don't wait for motivation or perfect conditions to start learning. Take the first step today, no matter how small. Commit to becoming a lifelong learner. Approach every day as a chance to improve yourself. This mindset will carry you through challenges and keep you moving forward. It will help you win not just once, but every day in everything you do. The key to mastering new skills is consistency, focus, and action. Don't get distracted by trying to learn everything at once. Pick one skill. Break it down into manageable parts. Practice regularly. Measure your progress. Adjust your approach. And never stop learning. The world rewards those who grow and adapt. Those who refuse to settle for what they already know. Those who become better versions of themselves day after day. Your value increases with every skill you add. Every new ability multiplies your opportunities. Every moment you spend learning is a step toward winning in life. Commit to that process. Make learning a daily habit. And watch how your life transforms as you grow stronger, smarter, and more capable than ever before. Chapter 11. Choose your friends based on your future goals. The people you choose to spend your time with shape your path more than almost anything else. Your friends influence your mindset, habits, and the opportunities you encounter. If your goal is to grow, improve, and win in life, your social circle must support that vision. Choosing friends based on your future goals is not about being selective out of arrogance. It's about surrounding yourself with those who inspire, challenge, and elevate you. It's about creating an environment where your aspirations are nurtured, not diminished. When your friends share your values and ambitions, you move forward faster. When they don't, you risk being held back by doubt, distraction, or negative influence. Every day you spend with certain people is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. If your friends settle, complain, or avoid responsibility, you'll feel their energy pulling you down, even if they don't mean to. If your friends strive for more, seek knowledge, and push themselves, you'll find your own drive increasing. Your habits begin to align with theirs. Your conversations shift toward growth. Your mindset changes. Your environment becomes a training ground for success. This is why who you choose to be close to matters deeply. It's not just about having fun. It's about building a foundation for the future you want. Choosing friends based on your future goals means being honest with yourself about what you want in life. It means understanding your priorities and recognizing which relationships support them. Sometimes that requires difficult decisions. You might realize some friendships no longer serve you. You might notice patterns of negativity or complacency. You might find that certain people don't respect your time, your dreams, or your boundaries. Letting go of these connections isn't easy, but it's necessary for your growth. Holding on to relationships that drain your energy or distract you from your purpose will slow your progress and cause frustration. Invest in friendships that challenge you to improve. Seek people who hold you accountable. Find those who celebrate your wins without jealousy and encourage you through setbacks without judgment. These friends push you out of your comfort zone and keep you focused on your goals. They don't let you settle for less. They inspire you to raise your standard. They provide honest feedback and support your growth even when it's uncomfortable. Building a network like this creates a powerful safety net that helps you keep going when motivation fades. Remember that relationships are two-way streets. As you choose friends aligned with your future, become the kind of friend who adds value. Share your knowledge, encourage their goals, be dependable and trustworthy. Growth happens when both people lift each other. When you contribute positively, you build strong, lasting connections that enrich your journey. These relationships become sources of strength, inspiration, and shared success. Surrounding yourself with people who match your future goals also exposes you to new opportunities. Your network shapes what you know, where you go, and who you meet. If your circle is filled with ambitious, driven individuals, you'll find doors opening that you never expected. You'll discover new paths, ideas, and partnerships. Your social environment becomes a catalyst for your success, accelerating your progress in ways you couldn't achieve alone. On the other hand, if your friends lack ambition or settle for comfort, you limit your exposure to growth. That environment makes it harder to break free from old patterns and reach higher levels. Be intentional about where and how you meet new friends. Join groups, communities, or events related to your interests and goals. Engage with people who inspire you through books, podcasts, or social media, and reach out to connect. Building friendships aligned with your vision takes effort and courage. It means stepping outside your comfort zone and investing time in meaningful relationships. But the payoff is immense. You'll build a tribe that fuels your passion and helps you stay committed to winning. It's important to balance ambition with empathy and authenticity. Choosing friends based on your goals doesn't mean judging or using people. It means valuing honesty and respect in your relationship. It means being patient as others grow at their own pace. Not everyone around you will share your exact path, but that doesn't mean they can't support you. Some friendships are about mutual respect and encouragement, even if interests differ. The key is that your friends respect your journey and you respect theirs. Avoid toxic relationships that drain your time, energy, or confidence. These can be subtle, constant negativity, gossip, jealousy, or unreliability. Toxic friends often undermine your progress without you realizing it. They distract you with drama or pull you into unhealthy habits. Protecting yourself from these influences is a form of self-respect. It allows you to focus on growth without unnecessary resistance. Choosing friends aligned with your future also improves your emotional resilience. When you face setbacks, having supportive friends who understand your goals helps you recover faster. They remind you why you started. They provide encouragement when doubt creeps in. They celebrate your wins as if they were their own. This emotional support is vital for long-term success. It reduces loneliness and boosts your confidence. It reminds you that you're not alone in your journey. As your goals evolve, your friendships will too. Be open to new connections that reflect your current ambitions. Let go of relationships that no longer fit your path. This ongoing evaluation keeps your social circle dynamic and powerful. It keeps you connected to the people who matter most for your growth. Don't be afraid to make changes. Your future self will thank you for choosing friends who help you become who you want to be. Surround yourself with those who challenge your thinking and expand your perspective. Diverse friendships bring new ideas and experiences. They prevent stagnation. They encourage creativity and problem solving. Choose friends who push you beyond your limits, but also those who provide balance and grounding. A well-rounded social network supports every part of your growth, mental, emotional, and practical. Take responsibility for creating the friendships you need. Don't wait for others to change or come to you. Reach out, be vulnerable, invest time and energy. The relationships that support your future goals require intentionality and care. They grow stronger with shared experiences, honest communication, and mutual respect. The quality of your friendships directly impacts the quality of your life. When your friends align with your goals, you gain motivation, clarity, and direction. You become more focused and driven. You create momentum that carries you forward even when challenges arise. This alignment gives you the strength to stay consistent and the inspiration to aim higher. Choosing friends based on your future goals is a lifelong process. As you grow, your needs and priorities will shift. Stay mindful of who you allow close to your energy. Regularly reflect on whether your relationships support or hinder your progress. Adjust accordingly. This ongoing effort ensures that your social environment remains a source of strength and inspiration. In the end, your friendships are a reflection of who you are and who you want to become. Choose wisely, choose intentionally, build connections that fuel your dreams and push you to win. Surround yourself with people who believe in your potential and hold you accountable to your highest self. Your future depends on the company you keep. Choose friends who help you rise. Choose friends who help you win. Chapter 12. Stop complaining and take action on your problems. Complaining is easy. It feels natural to vent about problems, to point out what's wrong, and to express frustration. But complaining never solves anything. It wastes your energy and keeps you stuck in a cycle of negativity. When you complain, you focus on the problem instead of the solution. You give your power away to circumstances instead of taking control. Complaining feels like release, but it actually holds you back. The moment you complain is the moment you decide to stay stuck instead of moving forward. If you want to win at everything you do, complaining has to stop. It's not just about being positive, it's about choosing action over helplessness. Taking action on your problems means accepting that you have control over your response. You might not control what happens to you, but you control how you respond. That's the real power. When you stop complaining, you open space for solutions. You clear your mind to think strategically. You take responsibility for your life instead of blaming others or circumstances. This shift is crucial. It transforms you from a passive victim into an active creator. It puts you in the driver's seat. It demands courage, but it also offers freedom. Problems are inevitable in life. No one escapes challenges. What separates winners is not the absence of problems, but the ability to deal with them effectively. Winners see problems as opportunities for growth. They don't deny difficulties or pretend everything is perfect. They acknowledge reality without resistance. Then they decide what to do next. This mindset allows them to move forward with clarity and confidence, rather than getting stuck in complaints and excuses. When you face a problem, the first step is to stop talking and start listening. Listen to what the problem really is, define it clearly. Often complaints come from vague feelings of dissatisfaction or frustration. Take the time to understand the root cause. Ask yourself, what exactly is wrong? Why does it matter? What can I control? When you have a clear picture, you can create a plan. Without clarity, action is random and ineffective. Once you understand the problem, brainstorm possible solutions. Don't limit yourself. Think broadly. Even if some ideas seem difficult or uncomfortable, write them down. Action requires ideas and willingness. Complaining is just repeating the problem without moving forward. Action is choosing the best possible path and committing to it, Break your solution into small, manageable steps. This makes big problems less overwhelming and easier to tackle. Action demands discipline. You won't always feel motivated or inspired. Sometimes the steps will be hard or unpleasant, but you must push through resistance. Consistent effort, even when uncomfortable, leads to progress. Avoid the trap of waiting for perfect conditions or the right time. The best time to act is now. Every delay allows problems to grow. Every moment spent complaining is energy wasted. Take control by doing something, anything toward the solution. When you act, track your progress. Notice what works and what doesn't. Adjust your approach based on results, not feeling. Action is not a single event. It's a process of trial, error, and improvement. Complaining stops growth because it keeps you stuck in the past. Action moves you forward by focusing on the future. Celebrate small wins along the way. Each step forward is proof that you can change your situation. Shifting from complaining to action requires changing your mindset. Start by catching yourself when you complain. Replace negative statements with questions or statements about solutions. For example, instead of saying, "This is impossible," ask, "What can I do to make this better?" This simple habit rewires your brain to focus on possibility, not problems. It rewires your habits to become solution-oriented. Over time, this mindset becomes natural. Surround yourself with people who encourage action, not complaining. Negative influences feed your excuses and fears. Supportive people push you to face challenges head-on. They remind you that problems are temporary and solvable. They model resilience and determination. Choose to spend your time with those who lift you up and inspire you to do better. Their energy will help you stay committed to action even when it feels tough. Take responsibility for your emotions as well. Complaining often hides deeper feelings of fear, frustration, or helplessness. Recognize these emotions without judgment. Acknowledge them and then decide not to let them control your behavior. Emotional control is part of taking action. It allows you to stay focused on solutions instead of getting lost in negativity. This emotional discipline strengthens your resilience and mental toughness. Remember that some problems require help. Taking action doesn't mean doing everything alone. Sometimes the best solution is to ask for support, advice, or resources. Reach out to mentors, friends, or professionals who can guide you. Asking for help is an active step, not a sign of weakness. It shows that you are committed to solving your problems, no matter the obstacles. Complaining often serves as a temporary escape from discomfort. It gives you a way to vent without changing anything. But this escape is false freedom. True freedom comes from taking control. When you act, you reclaim your power. You build confidence. You grow stronger. You prove to yourself that you can handle whatever life throws your way. This growth is the foundation of lasting success. Practice gratitude as a counterbalance to complaining. When you focus on what's working in your life, you build a mindset of abundance. Gratitude doesn't ignore problems, but it prevents them from dominating your perspective. It reminds you of your resources, strengths, and progress. This positive focus fuels your motivation to act. It shifts your energy from frustration to determination. Stop waiting for external conditions to change. Complaining often masks a desire for others to fix your problems, or for circumstances to improve on their own. This hope keeps you passive, but real change requires you to start where you are, with what you have. Action begins with your choices. It begins with your willingness to do the hard work. It begins with deciding that you will no longer settle for excuses. Develop a daily habit of reflection. At the end of each day, review your challenges and your responses. Ask yourself how much time you spent complaining versus acting. Identify moments where you could have taken more initiative. Plan how you will respond differently tomorrow. This habit builds awareness and accountability. It strengthens your ability to move from complaining to doing. Understand that problems are part of the growth process. Instead of fearing difficulties, welcome them as tests of your commitment. Each problem solved makes you more skilled, more confident, and more prepared for future challenges. Complaining slows down this process by focusing on pain instead of progress. Taking action accelerates it by turning obstacles into stepping stones. Stop complaining and start acting. This simple decision is the turning point between frustration and freedom. It's the choice that separates winners from bystanders. The moment you commit to action, you reclaim control of your life. You transform challenges into opportunities. You build momentum that carries you forward. That momentum turns small steps into big wins. It creates a life defined by progress, resilience, and achievement. When you take action, you show yourself and the world that you are serious about winning. You prove that you can face reality with strength and purpose. You stop being a spectator of your life and become the author of your story. Complaining is a habit that wastes your potential. Action is a habit that unlocks it. Choose wisely. Choose to act. Choose to win. Chapter 13. Make clear decisions without fear or second guessing. Making clear decisions without fear or second guessing is a skill that can transform your life. Too often, people get stuck in endless doubt and hesitation. They replay scenarios in their minds, worry about the worst outcomes, and postpone action. This pattern drains energy and wastes time. When you make decisions with clarity and confidence, you move forward decisively. You create momentum. You avoid the paralysis that holds so many back from achieving their goals. Learning to trust yourself and your judgment is key to winning in everything you do. Fear of making the wrong choice is natural. It stems from our desire to avoid failure and disappointment. But fear becomes a problem when it controls your decisions. When you let fear dictate your actions, you limit your options. You settle for less than you want. You miss opportunities because you're waiting for the perfect moment or perfect information, which often never comes. Fear keeps you stuck in what-if scenarios instead of what-now actions. The truth is, no decision is perfect. Every choice carries risks and uncertainties. The difference lies in your ability to decide anyway and commit fully. Second guessing is the enemy of clarity. It creates a loop of self-doubt that erodes confidence. After making a choice, instead of moving forward, you replay the decision over and over. You ask yourself if you made the right move. You worry about what others think. You imagine alternative outcomes. This mental noise wastes precious energy and slows progress. It's important to recognize that second guessing rarely leads to better decisions. It only leads to confusion and stress. The more you practice making decisions and trusting them, the less you will second guess. Developing clarity in decision-making starts with preparation. Gather the information you need without overloading yourself. Set clear priorities based on your values and goals. When you know what matters most, it's easier to evaluate options quickly. Avoid getting lost in details that don't affect the big picture. Ask yourself, which choice aligns best with my goals? Which one reflects my values? Which one moves me closer to where I want to be? These questions keep your decisions focused and grounded. Accept that uncertainty is part of every decision. There will always be unknowns. You cannot predict every outcome. Embrace this reality instead of fearing it. When you accept uncertainty, you reduce the pressure to be perfect. You free yourself to act decisively, even with incomplete information. This mindset allows you to take risks wisely, without being paralyzed by what-ifs. It builds resilience, because you understand that mistakes are learning opportunities, not disasters. Build confidence by starting with small decisions. Practice choosing quickly in low-stakes situations. This trains your brain to trust your instincts. It helps you get comfortable with the process of deciding. Over time, you'll develop a habit of action instead of hesitation. Your confidence will grow because you prove to yourself that you can handle the consequences of your choices. This habit will carry over into more important decisions. Trust your intuition, but balance it with reason. Your gut feelings often come from accumulated experience and subconscious knowledge. Don't dismiss them. When something feels right or wrong, pay attention. However, back up your intuition with facts and logic. Combine emotion and reason to make balanced decisions. This approach increases clarity and reduces doubt because you are using both your heart and your mind. Avoid asking too many people for advice, especially when you feel unsure. While it's good to get input from trusted sources, too many opinions create confusion. Everyone's perspective is influenced by their own fears, biases, and experiences. The more voices you listen to, the harder it becomes to trust your own judgment. Seek counsel wisely, then make your own choice. Remember that even experts don't always have the right answers. Your responsibility is to decide what's best for you. Set deadlines for decisions. Open-ended thinking leads to procrastination. When you impose a deadline, you force yourself to focus. Deadlines create urgency, which sharpens your thinking and reduces distractions. They prevent endless rehashing and keep you moving forward. Even if the deadline is self-imposed, it has power. It transforms vague intentions into clear actions. Once you make a decision, commit to it fully. Doubt will arise, but don't let it pull you back. Instead of looking for reassurance, focus on taking the next step. Action builds confidence. Momentum silences fear. Remember that you can adjust your course as you go. Decisions are not permanent prisons, they are starting points. If new information arises, you can adapt, but the key is to avoid getting stuck in indecision. Learn to separate decisions from your identity. Sometimes, fear comes from confusing a mistake with failure. As a person, you might believe that a bad choice means you are a bad person, or incapable. This belief is false and dangerous. Everyone makes mistakes. Making a wrong decision does not define your worth or your future. It defines your learning curve. When you detach your identity from the outcome, you reduce fear and increase freedom. Practice mindfulness to improve your clarity. When your mind is cluttered with stress, worries, or distractions, making decisions becomes harder. Mindfulness trains you to be present and focused. It helps you observe your thoughts without getting caught in them. This mental clarity allows you to see options more clearly and choose without unnecessary anxiety. Celebrate your decision-making successes. Reflect on times when you made a good choice, big or small. Remember how it felt to trust yourself and act confidently. This reflection reinforces positive habits and encourages you to keep practicing. It builds a mental bank of successful decisions that you can draw from in uncertain moments. Understand that clear decisions create space for action. The longer you wait, the more opportunities pass by. Clear decisions reduce mental clutter and free up energy for execution. Action is the engine of progress. Without decision, action stalls. Without action, growth halts. Clarity in decision-making is the foundation for consistent progress. Avoid the trap of perfectionism. Waiting for the perfect choice is a form of procrastination, disguised as prudence. Perfection rarely exists in decision-making. Accepting good enough allows you to move forward with confidence. You can refine and improve along the way. This approach keeps your momentum alive and reduces stress. Use a decision journal to record your choices and the reasoning behind them. Review it regularly to see patterns, successes, and areas for improvement. Writing helps clarify your thoughts and strengthens your commitment. It also gives you data to trust your future decisions more. When fear creeps in, remind yourself that most fears are imagined consequences. They are what-if stories your mind creates, not realities. Challenge those fears by asking, what is the worst that can actually happen? How likely is it? What can I do to recover if it happens? These questions reduce fear and empower you to decide. Finally, understand that making clear decisions is a practice, not a one-time skill. The more you do it, the better you become. You learn to trust yourself more deeply. You learn to move through fear with courage. You learn to turn uncertainty into opportunity. Clear decision-making is one of the most powerful tools for winning in life. It propels you forward. It builds confidence. It turns your goals into reality. Commit to mastering it and watch how your life changes. Chapter 14. Let go of your past mistakes without regret. Holding on to past mistakes weighs heavily on your mind and spirit. It creates unnecessary burdens that stop you from moving forward. When you cling to regret, you keep reliving moments that cannot be changed. This drains your energy and clouds your vision of the future. Learning to let go of your past mistakes without regret is essential to winning in life. It frees you from the chains of what happened and allows you to focus on what you can control now. Letting go is not about forgetting or ignoring your past. It's about accepting it, learning from it, and choosing to move beyond it. Every person makes mistakes. It is part of being human. Mistakes teach you lessons no success alone can provide. When you accept this truth, you stop beating yourself up for errors made. You stop wasting time wishing you could rewind and undo what's done. Instead, you shift your attention to the present moment and what you can do better today. This shift is powerful. It changes your mindset from one of punishment to one of growth. Regret comes from identifying too closely with your mistakes. You believe that your errors define you or diminish your worth. This belief is false. Your value is not tied to perfection, but to your willingness to improve. When you let go of regret, you see yourself as a learner, not a failure. You see mistakes as feedback, not final judgments. This perspective encourages self-compassion, which is critical for real change. Compassion allows you to treat yourself kindly, accept flaws, and keep trying without fear. Forgiveness plays a vital role in letting go. Forgive yourself sincerely for what you have done wrong. Forgive the choices that led to failure or pain. Forgiveness is not about excusing mistakes, but about releasing the emotional hold they have on you. It removes the weight of guilt and shame which keep you stuck in the past. When you forgive yourself, you create space for healing and new possibilities. Avoid the trap of rumination. This is the habit of replaying mistakes over and over in your mind. Rumination does not help solve problems or improve your situation. Instead, it deepens negative feelings and hinders forward movement. When you notice yourself stuck in this cycle, gently redirect your thoughts. Focus on what you can control and what actions you can take. This mental discipline is crucial for letting go. Write down your past mistakes and then write what you learned from each one. This exercise transforms regret into lessons. It helps you see that every error contributed to your growth. This reflection reduces the power of regret because it highlights progress instead of failure. It makes your mistakes part of a larger story of improvement rather than a source of shame. Recognize that everyone carries a past full of mistakes. You are not alone in your imperfection. Successful people do not achieve greatness by avoiding errors. They succeed because they learn, adapt, and keep going. This understanding connects you to a universal human experience and reduces feelings of isolation or inadequacy. It reminds you that mistakes are stepping stones on the path to success. Practice living in the present moment. Regret pulls you into the past, which is beyond your control. The present is where your power lies. When you focus on now, you regain control over your actions and choices. Mindfulness exercises can help you train your mind to stay present and reduce fixation on past errors. Being present allows you to respond to life with clarity and calm, rather than anxiety and regret. Set new goals that reflect who you want to become, rather than who you were. Focusing on the future helps you leave the past behind. Goals give your mind a direction and purpose. They motivate you to take positive steps forward, instead of dwelling on what can't be changed. Align your actions with these goals and measure your progress to stay motivated. Avoid blaming others or external circumstances for your mistakes. Taking responsibility for your part empowers you to learn and grow. Blame keeps you stuck in victimhood and resentment. Ownership of your actions, even when difficult, is a sign of strength. It allows you to make changes that improve your life. Use affirmations that reinforce your value beyond mistakes. Statements like "I am growing every day" or "My past does not define me" help shift your mindset. Repeat these affirmations regularly to build a positive self-image that transcends errors. Positive self-talk is a powerful tool for reducing regret and increasing confidence. Surround yourself with people who support your growth and encourage forgiveness. Share your experiences with trusted friends or mentors who remind you of your worth. Their perspective can help you see beyond your regrets and focus on your potential. Healthy relationships provide emotional safety and accountability for moving forward. Accept that some mistakes will have lasting consequences. Letting go doesn't mean ignoring the impact of your actions. It means making peace with what cannot be changed and focusing on what can. Sometimes repair or restitution is necessary. Taking action to make amends is part of growth. Once you do what you can, release the rest. Holding on to guilt beyond what is productive only hurts you. Develop a daily habit of reflection without judgment. At the end of each day, acknowledge your successes and mistakes without harsh criticism. Recognize areas for improvement, but also celebrate progress. This balanced reflection helps prevent regret from building up and promotes continuous growth. Remember that letting go of past mistakes creates freedom. It frees your mind from negative loops. It frees your heart from unnecessary pain. It frees your energy for the present and future. This freedom increases your ability to focus, create and achieve. It empowers you to live fully and win consistently. Visualize your life without the weight of regret. Imagine how your mindset and actions would change. Use this vision as motivation to release the past. Picture yourself moving forward with confidence and peace. This visualization helps your brain rewire toward letting go. Make peace with the fact that perfection is impossible. Mistakes are part of progress, not a sign of failure. Accepting imperfection allows you to be kinder to yourself and more open to growth. This acceptance reduces fear of making new mistakes and encourages you to keep trying. Practice gratitude for the lessons your mistakes have taught you. Gratitude shifts your perspective from loss to gain. It highlights the value hidden in failure and strengthens resilience. This mindset makes letting go easier and more natural. Commit to living a life focused on growth rather than regret. Choose to spend your time and energy on improving yourself and your future. Make letting go a daily practice. With each day, release more of the past and embrace more of your potential. By letting go of past mistakes without regret, you unlock your full power to win. You stop carrying unnecessary burdens. You free yourself to act with clarity and confidence. You open the door to new possibilities and success. This choice transforms your life from one weighed down by regret to one lifted by hope and progress. Choose to let go. Choose to grow. Choose to win. Chapter 15. Train your mind to see the good first. Training your mind to see the good first is one of the most powerful shifts you can make to improve your life. By focusing on the positive aspects of situations, people and yourself, you create a foundation for optimism, motivation and resilience. This does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it means choosing to prioritize what is working well and what opportunities exist before dwelling on problems or setbacks. This shift changes your experience of life and how you respond to it. It shapes your emotions, decisions, and ultimately your results. Your brain is wired to notice threats and problems. This survival mechanism once protected humans from danger. However, in modern life, this tendency often leads to negativity bias. You may find yourself focusing on what's wrong, what could go bad, or what's missing. This focus can trap you in worry, fear, and frustration. Training your mind to see the good first rewires this natural bias. It encourages your brain to scan for positive evidence before negative. This simple habit has a profound effect on your mood and outlook. Start by practicing gratitude regularly. Gratitude is the practice of intentionally noticing and appreciating what is good in your life. When you write down or think about things you are thankful for, your mind learns to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. Gratitude rewires neural pathways, making it easier over time to spot the good first. It helps you become more aware of everyday blessings that might otherwise go unnoticed. This awareness creates a sense of contentment and motivation to keep moving forward. Focus on small positive details around you. Look for moments of kindness, beauty or success. It could be a smile from a stranger, a moment of calm or progress toward a goal. When you train yourself to catch these moments, you create a habit of positive attention. This habit helps balance negative thoughts and reduces stress. Over time, you'll find that your automatic thoughts become more optimistic and solution-focused. Choose language that reflects a positive outlook. The words you use shape your thinking and emotion. Replace negative or neutral phrases with ones that highlight what is good or possible. For example, instead of saying "I can't handle this," say "I will find a way through this." Positive language fuels hope and energy. It reinforces your commitment to seeing the good first. Surround yourself with positive influences. The people, media, and environments you engage with affect your mindset. Spend time with optimistic and supportive people who encourage growth. Consume content that uplifts and educates rather than depresses or divides. Create a space that inspires and motivates you. These influences help your mind naturally scan for good instead of bad. When faced with challenges, consciously look for lessons or silver linings. Every difficulty carries hidden value if you choose to see it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this situation help me grow? This perspective turns obstacles into opportunities. It prevents you from being overwhelmed by negativity and keeps your focus on solutions and improvement. Practice mindfulness to become more aware of your thoughts. Mindfulness helps you notice when your mind drifts toward negativity or worry. When you catch these moments, gently redirect your attention to something positive or neutral. This skill strengthens your mental control and reinforces positive focus. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to choose good thoughts first. Visualize positive outcomes regularly. Imagine how you want things to go and what success looks like. Visualization trains your brain to expect good results. It primes your mind to notice opportunities and take action. This mental rehearsal builds confidence and reduces fear of failure. It supports a positive mindset by focusing on what is possible. Avoid the trap of comparing yourself to others negatively. Comparison often leads to feelings of inadequacy and resentment. Instead, focus on your own progress and strengths. Celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. Recognize that your journey is unique. This focus shifts your mind towards self-appreciation and positivity. Make it a habit to start your day with a positive ritual. This could be reading an inspiring quote, writing a gratitude list, or setting an intention for the day. Starting with positivity sets the tone for how you experience the day. It programs your mind to seek out good rather than problems. This daily practice reinforces your focus on the positive consistently. Challenge negative thoughts actively. When you notice a pessimistic or critical thought, question its accuracy and usefulness. Ask yourself if there is a more positive or realistic way to view the situation. Replace negative thoughts with constructive or hopeful ones. This process weakens the power of negativity and strengthens your ability to see the good first. Engage in acts of kindness regularly. Helping others shifts your focus away from your own problems. It connects you to positive emotions and purpose. Kindness creates a feedback loop where seeing the good in others helps you see the good in life. This behavior reinforces your positive mindset naturally. Use positive affirmations to train your subconscious mind. Repeat statements that focus on your strengths, potential, and positive expectations. Affirmations like "I am capable," "I choose happiness," or "good things are coming" help reprogram your mind. Consistent repetition makes these beliefs automatic, influencing your thoughts and actions toward positivity. Recognize that setbacks and negative events are temporary. Train your mind to see challenges as passing moments, not permanent states. This perspective reduces fear and discouragement. It keeps your focus on long-term growth and success rather than immediate difficulties. Create a vision board or reminder of your goals and positive beliefs. Visual cues reinforce your mindset by keeping your focus on what you want, not on what you fear. Seeing your goals and affirmations daily trains your brain to notice opportunities aligned with your vision. Celebrate progress and small victories often. Acknowledging even minor wins helps your mind focus on success and momentum. This habit builds confidence and keeps you motivated to continue improving. It shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, from lack to growth. Practice patience with yourself. Changing your mindset is a process that takes time and effort. Be kind when you slip into negativity. Gently bring yourself back to seeing the good first, without judgment. Consistency matters more than perfection in this journey. Use journaling to track positive experiences and growth. Writing about what went well each day reinforces your brain's ability to focus on good. It provides a record of progress that you can revisit when you need motivation or reassurance. Understand that seeing the good first creates resilience. Optimism doesn't ignore reality but gives you strength to face it. It helps you recover from setbacks faster and find creative solutions. This resilience is essential for winning in any area of life. Finally, commit to training your mind daily. The more you practice seeing the good first, the more it becomes your default way of thinking. This shift transforms your experience of life, making it richer, more hopeful, and more productive. You gain the power to shape your reality by choosing your focus. Train your mind to see the good first, and watch how your life changes for the better. Chapter 16. Move your body daily to strengthen your energy levels. Moving your body every day is one of the most effective ways to build and maintain your energy levels. It might sound simple, but consistent physical activity impacts your mental clarity, emotional balance, and overall well-being more than you realize. When you make daily movement a priority, you're not just improving your physical health, you're fueling every part of your life with more vitality, Energy is the foundation for success, because without it, motivation, focus, and resilience all suffer. The act of moving awakens your body and mind, setting you up to perform at your best each day. Many people underestimate how much sitting or inactivity drains their energy. When your body stays still for too long, your circulation slows down, your muscles tighten, and your brain receives less oxygen. This leads to fatigue, sluggishness, and poor concentration. Even light movement like stretching or walking increases blood flow and wakes up your nervous system. Movement stimulates the release of hormones that boost mood and alertness. This means moving your body daily is a natural way to reset your energy levels and sharpen your mind. Daily movement doesn't have to be complicated or require a gym membership. The key is consistency and variety. Find activities you enjoy so it becomes a habit rather than a chore. Simple things like walking around the block, climbing stairs, or dancing to music count. The goal is to engage your muscles and get your heart rate up regularly. This strengthens your cardiovascular system and builds stamina, which translates into more energy throughout the day. Exercise triggers the release of endorphins, which are your body's natural feel-good chemicals. These endorphins reduce stress and anxiety while increasing feelings of happiness and well-being. When you move regularly, you're less likely to feel drained by emotional challenges. This emotional energy is just as important as physical energy because it keeps you motivated and balanced. The combination of physical and emotional energy creates a powerful foundation for winning in any area of life. Movement also improves your sleep quality. Better sleep means your body and mind recover fully, which restores your energy reserves. Without enough rest, your energy will drop no matter how much caffeine or willpower you use. Regular physical activity regulates your sleep cycle by helping you fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply. This natural boost in rest enhances your energy and focus during waking hours. Strengthening your energy through movement builds your resilience. When your body is strong and conditioned, you can handle physical and mental stress better. You won't feel as overwhelmed by challenges or fatigue. You'll recover faster from setbacks and push through obstacles with more stamina. This resilience is essential for maintaining long-term success and health. Movement also supports your immune system. A strong immune system protects you from illness that can drain your energy and interrupt your progress. Regular activity promotes circulation of immune cells throughout your body, helping you fight off infections and recover quickly. This added health benefit means you spend more time feeling strong and capable. Create a daily routine that includes different types of movement. Combine aerobic exercises like walking or cycling with strength training and flexibility work. Strength training builds muscle and supports your metabolism, which keeps your energy steady. Flexibility exercises prevent injury and maintain mobility, so movement stays enjoyable and effective. This balanced approach ensures your body develops in all areas and stays energized. Listen to your body's signals to avoid burnout or injury. While daily movement is important, it's equally important to respect rest and recovery. If you feel overly tired or sore, adjust your activity level or focus on gentle movement like stretching or yoga. Rest is part of building energy, not a sign of weakness. Knowing when to push and when to recover keeps your energy sustainable over the long term. Incorporate movement into your workday as well. Sitting at a desk for hours zaps your energy quickly. Take short breaks to stand, stretch, or walk around. These micro movements improve circulation and refresh your brain. They reduce mental fatigue and help you stay productive and energized. Small changes like this add up to big improvements in your overall energy. Set clear and realistic goals for your movement habits. Instead of vague intentions like exercise more, define specific actions, such as walking 30 minutes every morning or doing strength exercises 3 times a week. Clear goals make your efforts measurable and keep you accountable. Tracking your progress motivates you to stay consistent and push further. Find a movement buddy or join a group to increase motivation and enjoyment. Social connection during physical activity makes the process more fun and rewarding. It also provides encouragement and accountability. Knowing someone else is counting on you makes it easier to stick to your routine, especially on days when motivation is low. Use technology wisely to support your movement goals. Fitness trackers, apps, or simple timers can remind you to move and record your activity. These tools offer feedback and help you see your progress over time. Positive reinforcement boosts your commitment and encourages you to keep improving your energy through movement. Remember that movement also sharpens your mental clarity and creativity. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, which improves concentration and problem-solving skills. Many people find they come up with their best ideas while walking or exercising. When your body is energized, your mind follows. This synergy between body and brain enhances every aspect of your personal and professional life. Don't wait for the perfect moment or motivation to start moving daily. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Begin with small, manageable steps and build from there. Even 5 minutes of movement is better than none. The momentum you build leads to longer and more effective sessions. Progress, not perfection, is what counts. Make movement enjoyable by mixing it with other activities you love. Listen to music, podcasts, or audiobooks while moving. Try new activities to keep your routine fresh and exciting. When movement feels like fun rather than a task, you're more likely to stick with it. This positive association boosts your energy and overall attitude toward life. Track your energy levels before and after movement to see the direct benefits. Notice how even short sessions increase your alertness and mood. Use these experiences as motivation to maintain your habit. Over time, this awareness builds a positive feedback loop between movement and energy. Focus on how movement improves your life beyond physical fitness. Think about how it impacts your mood, productivity, relationships, and self-confidence. This broader view strengthens your commitment because you see the value in multiple areas. It reinforces that daily movement is an investment in your entire well-being. Be patient with yourself during this process. Energy levels and fitness improve gradually with consistent effort. Avoid comparing your progress to others or demanding immediate results. Celebrate each step forward as proof of your growing strength and vitality. Know that moving your body daily is not just about winning in fitness, but winning in life. It provides the energy you need to tackle challenges, stay motivated, and enjoy your journey. It supports mental and emotional health, creating balance and stability. Daily movement is a practical, powerful habit that fuels your success in every area. Commit to making movement a non-negotiable part of your routine. Prioritize it like you would an important meeting or responsibility. This commitment builds discipline and ensures you maintain your energy for the long haul. Remember, energy is the currency of achievement. The more you invest in moving your body, the greater your returns in performance and fulfillment. Move your body daily and watch how your energy transforms. You will feel stronger, clearer, and more alive. This transformation touches every part of your life, from your relationships, to your work, to your inner peace. Moving daily is one of the simplest and most effective ways to win at everything you do. Chapter 17. Respect your own word by keeping your promises. Respecting your own word by keeping your promises is a cornerstone of personal integrity and self-respect. When you make a promise, you create an expectation not only for others, but most importantly for yourself. This expectation forms the foundation of your character and reliability. Each promise you keep strengthens your self-trust and builds a reputation of dependability. When you consistently honor your commitments, you develop confidence and a clear sense of identity. On the other hand, breaking promises, even small ones, chips away at your credibility and damages your relationship with yourself and others. Respecting your word is more than a habit, it is a powerful way to win in life. The first step in respecting your word is understanding the weight of a promise. A promise is a commitment that carries responsibility. It signals your intention to act in a certain way. When you say you will do something, your mind sets a goal to fulfill it. This goal aligns your actions and decisions toward completion. Recognizing this connection helps you take promises seriously and avoid making them lightly. Avoid promising things you are unsure you can deliver. Being mindful before committing prevents unnecessary stress and disappointment. Respecting your word means being honest with yourself and others. Don't make promises to please people if you don't intend to follow through. This behavior creates confusion and damages trust. Instead, communicate clearly and set realistic expectations. If you realize you cannot keep a promise, address it immediately. Transparency shows maturity and respect. It also gives you the opportunity to renegotiate commitments or find alternatives. Handling promises with honesty protects your integrity and relationships. Keeping promises requires planning and prioritizing. Many promises fail because of poor time management or lack of organization. When you commit to something, allocate the necessary time and resources to fulfill it. Break down larger promises into actionable steps and set deadlines. Planning reduces overwhelm and keeps your promises manageable. Prioritizing commitments ensures that your most important promises get the attention they deserve. This intentional approach increases your success in honoring your word. Avoid overcommitting yourself. Saying yes to too many things dilutes your ability to keep any promise well. It spreads your energy thin and creates unnecessary pressure. Learning to say no respectfully is a vital skill. When you say no to less important requests, you say yes to your priorities and promises that matter most. This boundary protects your integrity and effectiveness. Respecting your word starts with realistic commitments. Consistency is key to building trust through your promises. People notice when you reliably follow through, which strengthens your relationships both personally and professionally. This consistency also reinforces your own belief in your capabilities. Each fulfilled promise adds to your self-confidence and motivates you to maintain your standards. Trust is built over time through repeated actions, so make every promise count. When challenges arise that threaten your ability to keep a promise, face them proactively. Instead of ignoring the problem or hoping it will resolve itself, take immediate action. Communicate openly about any delays or obstacles. Seek help or adjust your plan as needed. Taking responsibility in difficult moments shows character and dedication. It turns potential failure into an opportunity for growth and respect. Respecting your own word means aligning your actions with your values. When promises reflect your true priorities and beliefs, you are more motivated to keep them. This alignment creates inner harmony and reduces internal conflict. It also makes promises more meaningful and energizing rather than burdensome. Reflect regularly on whether your commitments reflect who you want to be and what you want to achieve. Use reminders and tools to support your promise-keeping. Calendars, alarms, task lists, and notes can help you stay on track. External tools act as extensions of your commitment and prevent forgetfulness. This practical support is especially important when managing multiple promises. Combining internal motivation with external systems boosts your success in respecting your word. Celebrate when you keep your promises. Acknowledge your effort and discipline. Positive reinforcement builds momentum and encourages you to maintain your standards. Recognizing your achievements also strengthens your identity as someone who respects their word. This recognition fuels pride and motivates continuous improvement. Learn from promises you struggle to keep. Instead of beating yourself up, analyze what went wrong. Identify patterns like overcommitment, poor planning, or distractions. Use these insights to adjust your approach. Continuous learning and adaptation improve your ability to keep promises over time. Growth comes from honest reflection and action. Understand that respecting your word affects how others treat you. When you honor your promises, people trust and respect you. This trust opens doors to opportunities, collaborations, and support. It creates a positive cycle where your reliability attracts more responsibility and success. Conversely, breaking promises damages your reputation and limits your influence. Respecting your own word builds discipline and self-control. It trains your mind to follow through on intentions despite distractions or temptations. This discipline extends beyond promises to other areas of life like goal setting, habits, and decision-making. The habit of keeping promises strengthens your overall ability to commit and persevere. Cultivate patience and flexibility while keeping promises. Sometimes unexpected events disrupt your plans. Being adaptable without abandoning your commitments shows resilience. Adjust your approach or timeline while maintaining your intention to fulfill the promise. This balance between firmness and flexibility is a mark of mature integrity. Surround yourself with people who value and practice keeping their word. Positive influences encourage your commitment to respecting promises. They model reliability and hold you accountable in a supportive way. This environment nurtures your growth and reinforces the importance of integrity. Recognize that every promise you keep is a step toward winning in life. It builds trust, confidence, and momentum. It enhances your reputation and deepens relationships. These outcomes create a foundation for success in all areas. Respecting your word is not a small detail but a powerful habit that shapes your destiny. Make a commitment today to honor every promise you make. Treat your word as a sacred bond with yourself and others. Approach promises with intention, honesty, and follow-through. Build systems and habits that support your reliability. When you do this consistently, you become unstoppable. Your word is your personal brand and your strongest asset. Protect it fiercely by keeping your promises. This respect for yourself becomes the basis for every win you achieve. When you say you will do something, do it. This simple rule will transform your life, relationships, and success. Commit to it fully, and watch how your world changes for the better. Chapter 18. Say no often so you can say yes better. Learning to say no often is one of the most important skills you can develop to improve your life and achieve your goals. Saying no is not about being rude or unhelpful. It is about protecting your time, energy, and focus so that you can say yes to the things that truly matter. When you say yes to everything, you spread yourself too thin, lose control of your priorities, and reduce the quality of your commitments. Saying no strategically allows you to be more intentional and deliberate in your choices. This clarity empowers you to say yes better and make meaningful progress in the areas that align with your values and goals. Many people struggle with saying no because they fear disappointing others or missing opportunities. They worry about being seen as selfish or uncooperative. This fear often leads to overcommitment, stress, and burnout. However, saying no is actually an act of self-respect and strength. It shows that you value your own needs and understand your limits. When you say no firmly and respectfully, you communicate clear boundaries that help others understand and respect you better. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your focus and energy over time. Saying no frequently requires clarity about your priorities. When you know what matters most in your life, it becomes easier to evaluate requests and decide which deserve your time. Without this clarity, you risk reacting to every demand or opportunity impulsively. Define your goals, values, and non-negotiables clearly. Use them as your decision-making compass. This clarity will make saying no less stressful and more natural, because you have a solid reason behind your choice. Practice saying no in everyday situations to build confidence. Start with small requests or invitations that don't align with your priorities. Use simple, polite phrases like "I'm unable to commit to this right now," or "I have to focus on other priorities." Avoid over-explaining or apologizing excessively. A straightforward no is often enough and respected. Each time you practice, you strengthen your ability to say no without guilt or hesitation. Saying no allows you to protect your time for saying yes to bigger and more important opportunities. When you decline less meaningful requests, you free up space for activities that bring growth, fulfillment, and success. This focused yes carries more weight and impact because it is not diluted by overcommitment. You can invest fully in your priorities and produce better results. Quality always beats quantity. Saying no often reduces stress and increases your well-being. Overloading yourself with obligations creates pressure and fatigue. When you say no to unnecessary demands, you regain control of your schedule and energy. This control reduces anxiety and allows you to approach your commitments with more enthusiasm and effectiveness. You feel less overwhelmed and more balanced. Learn to say no quickly instead of delaying your decision. Postponing a no wastes your time and increases mental clutter. It also gives others false hope or expectations. When you respond promptly, you clarify your availability and prevent misunderstandings. This decisiveness strengthens your reputation as someone who respects their own word and time. Use positive language when saying no. Frame your refusal in a way that shows appreciation for the invitation or request. For example, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I must decline at this time." This approach maintains goodwill and professionalism while protecting your boundary. It makes saying no easier and less confrontational. Understand that saying no to some things means saying yes to your growth. Every no you say is a yes to something more aligned with your vision. This mindset shifts the narrative from denial to opportunity. It helps you embrace no as a tool for winning rather than a limitation. This perspective changes your relationship with boundaries and choice. Avoid overcommitting by scheduling downtime and rest in your calendar. Saying no to additional tasks ensures you have time to recharge and reflect. Rest is essential for maintaining your energy, creativity, and decision-making ability. When you protect your recovery time, you show respect for your overall performance and well-being. Recognize the difference between urgent and important requests. Urgent demands often pressure you to say yes quickly, without considering long-term impact. Important tasks align with your goals and values. By prioritizing importance over urgency, you make smarter decisions about what to accept or decline. Saying no to urgent but less important requests improves your effectiveness. Use your no as a learning opportunity. Notice patterns of requests you decline and how they affect your life. This awareness helps you identify distractions or obligations that don't serve you. Adjust your boundaries as needed to maintain alignment with your goals. Continuous refinement of your no strengthens your focus and progress. Teach others to respect your no by being consistent. If you occasionally say yes after saying no, people may get confused or take advantage of your flexibility. Consistency establishes clear expectations and reduces pressure on you. Over time, this consistency leads to healthier relationships based on mutual respect. Remember that saying no is a gift to yourself and others. By declining what doesn't serve you, you preserve your ability to deliver excellence in what you commit to. This integrity benefits everyone involved. People appreciate when you honor your limits and bring your best rather than stretch yourself too thin. Avoid guilt when saying no. Guilt is a common but unhelpful emotion that weakens your boundaries. Remind yourself that protecting your priorities is necessary for your success and happiness. Saying no is not selfish, it is strategic and necessary. Reframe guilt as a sign you are caring for yourself responsibly. Practice empathy when saying no. Understand the other person's perspective and needs, but remain firm in your decision. Express your understanding and appreciation while maintaining your boundaries. This balance strengthens relationships even when you decline requests. Use saying no as a form of self-discipline that builds your character. Each no reinforces your ability to choose wisely and live intentionally. This discipline grows into other areas of life, such as goal setting, habit formation, and decision-making. Mastering no strengthens your overall capacity to win. Surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries and encourage your yes. Positive influences support your no and help you stay committed to your priorities. They reduce pressure to overcommit and provide accountability. Healthy relationships make saying no easier and more natural. Celebrate your progress in saying no better. Acknowledge how protecting your time improves your focus and results. Recognize the freedom and clarity that come from clear boundaries. This celebration motivates you to continue practicing no as a key to winning. Understand that saying no is an ongoing practice, not a one-time act. As your life and goals evolve, so will your boundaries. Stay flexible but firm in your commitment to saying no, often to say yes better. This continuous refinement leads to sustained growth and success. In conclusion, saying no often empowers you to live intentionally and focus on what matters most. It protects your energy, time, and priorities so that your yes carries real value. This skill builds confidence, reduces stress, and deepens your integrity. Mastering the art of saying no is a vital step toward winning at everything you do. Start practicing today and watch how your life transforms through better choices and clearer boundaries. Chapter 19. Stay calm when things go wrong without blaming others. When things go wrong, staying calm is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. Life is unpredictable and challenges will come your way regardless of how careful or prepared you are. How you respond in those moments often determines whether you will grow stronger or get stuck. Calmness allows you to think clearly, analyze the situation objectively, and make better decisions. It prevents emotions like anger, frustration, or panic from taking over. Remaining composed helps you focus on solutions rather than getting lost in blame or negativity. Blaming others when problems arise may feel like a natural reaction, but it rarely helps. Assigning fault shifts your attention away from what you can control and keeps you stuck in victim mode. It wastes energy and damages relationships, making it harder to find a way forward. When you refuse to blame others, you take full ownership of your experience and choices. This ownership is empowering because it puts you in the driver's seat. You stop waiting for others to fix the situation and start taking action yourself. Staying calm in difficult moments requires practice and self-awareness. The first step is recognizing your emotional triggers. Notice what types of situations tend to upset you the most and how your body responds. Pay attention to signs like increased heart rate, tension, or racing thoughts. Awareness allows you to intervene early before emotions spiral out of control. Techniques like deep breathing, counting to 10, or pausing before reacting can help regulate your nervous system and restore calm. Shifting your mindset is crucial for maintaining calmness. Instead of viewing problems as personal attacks or failures, reframe them as opportunities for learning and growth. This shift reduces the emotional charge and opens your mind to possibilities. Ask yourself what you can learn from the situation and how you can improve moving forward. This positive focus channels your energy into constructive actions instead of complaints or blame. Accepting that setbacks are a natural part of life removes the pressure of needing everything to be perfect. When you embrace imperfection, you become more resilient and adaptable. Calmness flows from the understanding that challenges do not define your worth or future. This perspective gives you space to breathe and think clearly even when circumstances are difficult. Develop a problem-solving attitude to stay calm. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong or who is responsible, focus on what you can do next. Break down the problem into smaller, manageable parts. Identify possible solutions and weigh their pros and cons. Taking action, even small steps, creates momentum and reduces feelings of helplessness. Calm problem solving builds confidence and shifts your focus from stress to solutions. Build emotional resilience through daily habits. Practices like mindfulness meditation, journaling, or regular exercise improve your ability to manage stress and remain calm under pressure. These habits strengthen your mental and emotional muscles, making it easier to respond thoughtfully when problems occur. Investing time in your inner well-being pays off in your external results. Surround yourself with calm and supportive people. Their attitude can influence your own reaction to challenges. When you have a network that encourages steady thinking and problem solving, you are less likely to fall into blame or panic. Healthy relationships provide a safe space to share difficulties and gain perspective. Communicate calmly when addressing problems with others. Speaking respectfully and clearly fosters cooperation and understanding. Avoid accusatory language or raising your voice, which escalates tension. Calm communication helps maintain trust and opens the door to collaborative solutions. It also models emotional control that others can mirror. Practice patience during tough times. Solutions often take time to develop, and quick fixes may not be available. Impatience can fuel frustration and blame. Embracing patience allows you to stay steady and persistent. It reminds you that progress is a process, not an instant event. Reflect on past challenges you handled calmly and successfully. Remembering these moments reinforces your ability to stay composed. Use these memories as evidence that you can face difficulties without blame. This self-assurance encourages you to apply the same calm approach in future situations. Avoid ruminating on negative events. Dwelling repeatedly on what went wrong prolongs stress and fuels blame. Instead, limit the time you spend thinking about the problem and intentionally redirect your mind to positive or neutral topics. This mental discipline protects your peace and sharpens your focus. Focus on what you can control in any situation. There will always be factors outside your influence, but your thoughts, attitudes, and actions remain yours to manage. Putting your energy into what you can change increases effectiveness and reduces anxiety. Calmness grows when you let go of futile attempts to control the uncontrollable. Use setbacks as feedback rather than failures. When you see problems as feedback, you remove personal judgment and blame. Feedback is information that guides you toward improvement. This view encourages curiosity and learning, which supports calm and constructive responses. Develop a mantra or phrase to repeat during stressful moments. Something simple like "I am calm and capable," or "this too shall pass," can ground you when emotions rise. Repeating a calming statement interrupts negative thought patterns and reinforces a positive mindset. Practice gratitude regularly. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is wrong to what is good in your life. This shift increases emotional balance and resilience. When you cultivate gratitude, you create a mental environment that supports calmness and reduces blame. Recognize that mistakes and problems do not reflect your identity. Separating your self-worth from outcomes prevents harsh self-criticism and defensiveness. This separation helps you respond with kindness and patience toward yourself and others when things go wrong. Avoid impulsive reactions during crises. Pause and take time to gather information before responding. This deliberate approach reduces errors and misunderstandings. It helps maintain calm and thoughtful decision-making even under pressure. Develop empathy toward others involved in the problem. Understanding their perspectives reduces judgment and blame. Empathy opens the door for collaboration and forgiveness, which smooth the path to resolution. Commit to learning from every challenge. Keep a journal or notes about what went wrong and what you did well. Reviewing this record increases awareness and prepares you for future difficulties. This commitment turns problems into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Celebrate your ability to stay calm in difficult moments. Acknowledge the strength it takes to control emotions and maintain focus. Recognizing your calmness builds confidence and reinforces the habit. Remember that staying calm without blaming others benefits your physical health. Stress and anger increase blood pressure and harm your immune system. Calm responses promote relaxation and healing, supporting your long-term well-being. Know that calmness is a skill, not a fixed trait. Anyone can develop it with intention and practice. Your past does not limit your ability to respond calmly today. Each moment is an opportunity to grow. Keep perspective by reminding yourself of the bigger picture. Temporary setbacks are small chapters in your life story, not the entire narrative. This perspective reduces the intensity of emotions and promotes calm. When things go wrong, choose calm over chaos. Calmness empowers you to respond effectively and maintain control. It protects your peace and paves the way for solutions. Refuse to blame others because blaming wastes energy and stalls progress. Take ownership, breathe deeply and move forward with clarity and confidence. This approach is how you win not just once, but every time life tests you. Chapter 20. Review your life weekly and plan your next win. Taking time every week to review your life and plan your next win is a powerful habit that propels you toward consistent growth and achievement. Life moves fast, and without regular reflection, it's easy to lose track of your progress, repeat mistakes, or drift away from your goals. A weekly review acts as a personal checkpoint where you pause to assess what is working, what isn't, and what steps you need to take next. This practice creates clarity and focus, empowering you to make smarter decisions and maintain momentum toward your vision. Start by setting aside a specific time each week for your review. Consistency matters because it turns this practice into a routine. Whether it's Sunday evening, Monday morning, or any other time that fits your schedule, make it non-negotiable. Treat this meeting with yourself as seriously as you would a business appointment or a meeting with a mentor. The more regular your review, the more effective it becomes in guiding your progress. Begin your review by looking back at the past week. Reflect on your achievements, no matter how small. Acknowledge the wins and successes that moved you closer to your goals. Celebrating these moments fuels motivation and builds confidence. Recognizing your progress reminds you that your efforts produce real results, encouraging you to keep pushing forward. Next, honestly examine areas where you struggled or fell short. Identify obstacles you encountered and behaviors or habits that held you back. This step requires honesty and openness with yourself. Avoid blame or excuses and instead view challenges as opportunities to learn. Understanding your setbacks is crucial because it reveals what adjustments are needed for improvement. Assess how well you managed your time, energy, and focus during the week. Did you prioritize tasks that aligned with your goals? Were distractions or procrastination an issue? This analysis helps you identify patterns that either support or hinder your progress. Becoming aware of these habits allows you to make intentional changes moving forward. Evaluate your emotional and mental state as part of your review. Consider how you felt overall and what influenced your mood or mindset. Emotional well-being is closely linked to performance, so addressing stress, anxiety, or burnout is important. If you notice negative patterns, plan ways to improve your mental health through rest, self-care, or support. Review your commitments and promises from the previous week. Did you keep your word to yourself and others? Accountability is a key driver of success. If you missed any commitments, explore why and how you can prevent this from happening again. Strengthening your accountability builds trust and discipline. Set clear, specific goals for the upcoming week based on your review. These goals should be actionable and realistic, pushing you forward without overwhelming you. Break down larger objectives into smaller steps that you can accomplish day by day. Clear goals provide direction and measurable targets to aim for. Prioritize your goals by importance and urgency. Focus on high-impact actions that align with your long-term vision. Avoid filling your plan with low-value tasks that drain your energy. Prioritization ensures that your effort produces meaningful progress. Create a flexible but structured plan for the week. Allocate time blocks for your key activities and schedule breaks to maintain energy. Planning reduces decision fatigue and increases your chance of following through. Use tools like calendars, planners, or apps to organize your schedule efficiently. Incorporate a focus on personal growth in your plan. Include time for learning new skills, practicing habits, or reflecting on your mindset. Growth is a continuous journey that supports all your goals. Dedicating time to development prevents stagnation and keeps you evolving. Identify potential challenges or obstacles you might face in the coming week. Preparing mentally for these difficulties strengthens your resilience. Think through possible solutions or coping strategies in advance. This proactive approach reduces stress and increases your ability to adapt. Commit to reviewing your progress daily in smaller check-ins. These brief reflections keep you aligned and allow quick adjustments. Daily awareness supports the larger weekly review by keeping your goals fresh in your mind. Use your weekly review to express gratitude for your journey. Recognizing the positive aspects of your life increases motivation and perspective. Gratitude helps balance ambition with contentment, creating a healthy mindset. Share your goals and plans with someone you trust. External accountability enhances your commitment and provides support. Discussing your progress also opens doors for advice and encouragement. Reflect on how your weekly review process is working for you. Adjust the format, timing, or focus as needed to maximize effectiveness. Personalize this habit so it fits your lifestyle and preferences. Flexibility ensures sustainability. Remember that the weekly review is not about perfection, but progress. It's normal to have ups and downs. The goal is steady movement toward your vision, not flawless execution. Embrace the process with patience and persistence. Visualize your next win during your planning. Picture what success looks and feels like. Visualization strengthens your motivation and clarifies your goals. Imagining positive outcomes prepares your mind to achieve them. Stay committed to your review habit even when life gets busy or challenging. Consistency is what turns this practice into a powerful tool for transformation. When you skip reviews, momentum fades and clarity diminishes. Recognize that reviewing and planning is a form of self-respect. It shows you value your time and potential. This respect builds self-esteem and encourages responsible decision-making. Track your progress visually if possible. Use charts, journals, or apps that show growth over time. Seeing tangible evidence of progress boosts morale and keeps you engaged. Use your weekly review to align your daily actions with your core values. This alignment brings meaning and satisfaction to your efforts. When your work reflects what matters most to you, success feels fulfilling. Commit to learning from every week regardless of the outcome. Treat every experience as valuable feedback. This mindset turns setbacks into stepping stones and wins into motivation. Plan rewards for yourself when you achieve your weekly goals. Celebrations reinforce positive behavior and make the journey enjoyable. Recognize that winning is not only about results, but also about appreciating your effort. Finally, remember that reviewing your life weekly and planning your next win creates a cycle of continuous improvement. It keeps you focused, motivated, and ready to face challenges with confidence. This simple but powerful habit is a key to winning not just once, but consistently in every area of your life. Make it a priority, commit to it fully, and watch how it transforms your path to success.